a beer as well. I just remembered that I have one in the car.
Oh my God, you got the Trump flag right behind you. Oh my
Oh,
God,
I do.
you're killing me.
I forgot about that. I didn't think the angle it would be able to see.
I don't. I mean, it's all good.
Yeah, but it says Trump 2024. Fuck your feelings on it.
Okay.
So maybe that shouldn't be in there.
You got beer outside?
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's in my car.
Oh, okay.
I don't normally drink, so what's it called? I grabbed a couple in a cooler for when we were. Never mind, definitely not coyote hunting or anything like that. We weren't handling firearms, but um, yeah. So I had one left over, and my
Hey,
car's
man.
actually locked for the first time, which is weird. I
Yeah, you
normally
probably
leave it
don't have to
unlocked
lock
with the
it very
keys in it.
often over there, huh?
No, I normally keep it unlocked with the keys in it in case Aaron needs it for anything.
In case you want to get a new car sometime.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I
I
tell
do
you
like
that
the.
my dad got his car stolen out of his driveway? Did I tell you this?
No way.
This what he was getting remarried. He was getting married to his now wife. And this was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. And he was so flustered with like organizing the whole wedding and everything. It was a destination wedding in Florida that the last thing he did was like park his car and they took their other car to the airport and he like forgot he left his keys in the console like and he comes home after like a weekend like his like amazing weekend with his family and his car is not in the driveway anymore and he's like I'm pretty sure it was here when I left. And some like drug addict like stole it out of his driveway and totaled it on the highway
Those
like 10
goddamn
miles away.
fairies.
Isn't that insane? Like I, I don't know. You can't make that stuff up. I mean, he doesn't live in a bad part of town, but I know people check my doors every night. That's just life, you know?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you live in a suburb, there's stupid high school kids checking doors. I mean, maybe not anymore, but when we were high schooler kids, I never did it, but like I
Mm-hmm.
could name 20 kids that would check doors all night and just try to steal an iPod or something, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. That's true. I don't have a bottle opener because I don't ever drink. So
You're not gonna do it with your eyelid. You chip another tooth.
I loosened it a little bit with my Debbie tool.
Hmm. Yeah, my
Uh,
for Father's Day, I got the most important gift one can give and one can receive.
New Balance shoes.
Yeah,
Yes, let's go.
goes in my wallet. Yeah, if anyone's struggling, I just pull out my wallet.
That's genius. I like it.
Stupid
I
stuff.
like it a lot.
So you had a good day? That's good. It's Dave's birthday, by the way, for all of you at home who are not here.
Exactly, exactly. I am 33 years old, and we should definitely celebrate me today because I did all the work, everything throughout, the nine
I get
months
all
that
the
my mother
credit.
carried me. I was carrying her, actually. And, you know, she was
She
blessed that I grew.
she needed something to look forward to,
Yeah.
and I provided that. No one ever talks about that.
Yeah, they just weren't satisfied with my brother Tom and my sister Amy. It just wasn't enough.
I mean,
I'm pretty
I
sure I was an accident, honestly.
just because my head circumference was 19 inches, it's still I
Well,
was still a gift.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And October 10th, 9 months prior to that is January 10th.
Hmm.
Whose birthday is January 10th?
Is it one of your parents?
It's my father's.
My mom's birthday is January 21st. Here we are.
It's the best day of the year. Man,
No, so yeah, Carol like wants to have more kids, and like we're like talking through how all of it, and it's like hard because like obviously you want like if you ask the kid wants to be here, like 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 if the 10th kid was a decision point for us, like the 10th kid wants to exist. Like it's just like how do you know the right number to like not harm them deeply more than you normally would? You know, like how do you it's just I know that's like kind of probably out of your like purview right now, but like it's like a weird
Economics.
question. Yeah, usually it's money. That's how most people make decisions, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
but you got that
I got that
that no
trophy
questions
sugar
asked.
mama. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna take the kids out for ice cream and maybe a new Gucci belt and no, 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 no. But
So I didn't know
yeah,
you
I
and
don't know.
Tom are
That's tough because like here's the thing. I base all of my parenting off of what my parents have done and off of what I've learned from helping raise Ashley's kids. And I can tell you that 3 kids is a lot. No
yeah.
matter how much money you have, 3 kids is a lot. Now she is now married in to a family with 2 other children. So they have 5 children between the ages of 9 and 12.
Wow.
It's a nightmare. And every single one of them is like involved in travel sports. They are all over the place. They never get 2 seconds for themselves. And she's just
Are
constantly in this state of stress.
are their kids do they have any kids together or is that all married in
No,
together?
no, no, no. Those are they're done having children.
Yeah.
She had her 3, he had his 2, and that's it.
No, I Carol comes from four. I come from two. So, you know, I it's just what you're comfortable with, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like what you think of family is, you know? I don't know.
I don't think it all has to do with financial because you can make anything work. I mean, my parents did it. My dad was making like 65 grand a year and he had 3 of us and you know,
I
they
I have
almost
no
had a
idea what your
fourth.
dad does. I thought he had like a really important job, but you're making it sound like not that he didn't, but like, you know, I thought he
I'm
had
saying
like
like
I thought
when
he
we
was
were
like a
kids, like he was
uh
making like 65 grand a year when we were first coming up and
yeah.
I don't know how they did it when my brother went off to college and I'm 6 years younger and then my sister went off to college 4 years later. Like they made it work on I don't know what. And we lived in a nice home. It's not like we were, living in poverty by any means, but
Yeah. No, in private school for everybody, you know?
yeah, and
That's a
they
lot.
just I mean, but they're constantly balancing checkbooks and making sure expenses. My mom would be on my dad about $1.50 coffee at the gas station, like stuff like that. Like every penny counts.
Yeah.
And they made it work. And then all of a sudden, we start taking care of ourselves and they're able to actually live the life that they were intending for themselves. But yeah, they're doing fantastic now, that's for sure. So it's
That's
good
great.
good to see.
No, I think there's gonna be an epidemic of a lot of people that can't retire coming. Like people
Oh yeah.
that I think the credit card generation, you know, like this just put on the credit card generation is like pretty screwed.
Yeah,
But
man.
we won't find out for like 10 or 15 years. Like it's
Oh, I'm
just
finding out every single day
well,
right
yeah,
now.
you exactly. You're the one,
I
you know,
see
giving real
every credit
data.
report. I would say a good 70% of the people that apply that I talk to are beyond help at this point from any sort of qualification. They're at the point of either foreclosure or bankruptcy because
Okay.
you can't do anything if your credit's not at least 580. And you have people that have relied on credit cards and it's a nightmare. I see people that make like 60 grand a year, 55 grand a year, and they've got like $40,000 worth of credit card debt. You're never paying that off. And you can't get out of it. Interest rates are 29% on most credit cards. Like it's insane.
No, I mean that should be bankruptcy, right? Like, there's no other like you're just I don't know, spinning your wheels. But
Yeah, that's literally 70% of the people that I'm talking to today though. Nobody's got a
and they
credit
want
score
to
above
and they're
560.
and they're trying to double down. They're trying to get a bigger house, right?
Mhm. They're trying to get a bigger house. So they're like, "Oh, we're going to add on to the home and blah blah blah." I'm like, "How about these credit cards?" And like, "No, no, we got that managed." No, no, you don't. There's a lot of people that think they're in good shape and they're really not. And then
No,
there's
it's
people
an
that
all-time
I
high.
talk to with, perfect credit and they have like $5,000 worth of credit card debt and they're freaking out about it.
That's me.
And
That's me. If it gets over
yeah,
like 2 grand, I just don't. I don't want to leave the house. Yeah.
I have a credit card for the outdoors store here, Sportsman's Warehouse, and then I have shout out Sportsman's Warehouse, sponsor us.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Very cut to the ad.
Right. But I have a credit card there, and then I have a PayPal credit card for buying stuff online, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because I
I
got
didn't
points
have a
for it.
credit card until last year. Carol forced me to get one.
Yeah, I got the credit card for Sportsman's Warehouse this year, and I have the PayPal for like a year and a half now or something like that, just because I wanted to, build some credit because I always paid everything in cash, never did any credit stuff. Because ever since the
Mm.
divorce, I'm just against credit cards because of what happened there. So
Yeah.
not gonna sit there and have to figure out how to pay off 30 grand worth of credit card debt again. That's
No,
insane.
I don't know. Yeah, you already went through this. That's why it's so evident to you that it's like stupid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
absolutely stupid.
No, it'll take them between 3 and 5 years if they prioritize it number one. Like there's no other way.
Here's the thing: so many people have so much crap that they don't need. They're buying everything they see on Amazon, every suggestion. Oh, well, this would be nice here. This would be nice here. And they're just blowing it up and blowing it up and blowing it up. And we live in this age where you can get this in 2 days instead of, and then you
Mhm.
go on there and what do they have? They have Affirm with
Yeah,
astronomical interest rates, and you
that's
can
even
go ahead and
further. Yeah.
you
No,
can,
I,
it's
I
nuts.
I think Amazon is. I mean, it's
It's a
hard
genius
to.
business structure.
It's too perfect. I've been actually studying it like pretty hardcore for the last like month because I don't know, I find it interesting, and they're winning everything. But the thing I'll say is like I think it was slowly spiraling out of control, but I think the Uber Eats DoorDash is what doubled like just lit it on fire because
That's how I got
now
fat, dude.
well, exactly. It's catering to your every impulse. At any moment, I could have whatever I want handed to me. Like it doesn't like there's no more sitting at home going, what should I eat? It literally you just open your phone and you pay it and then you pay it in calories. But I would because and you justify it because you go, I have to eat, like credit card debt, like I have to eat. I'm human. But you could easily eat anything in the fridge, but it
Yep.
sucks. Like it's work, and they're like, I've just been so like I've been really trying to realize that everything is just the most lazy. It's all catered to the laziest person,
Yeah.
and once you build towards the laziest person, like it just kind of like things. I mean, it's great. Like
We are
things are
creating the
perfect.
Wally world of humans. We're
Yeah. No,
literally almost there.
well, it's hard because on some level, it's a good thing, right? Like we continue to go down this trend of like people that had personal assistants because they were rich enough. Like we have 99% of anything anyone ever had in the Great Depression that had a personal, whatever, had 10
Hmm.
people working for them. I have 10 people that work for me. They deliver my groceries, they pick me up whenever I feel like it. They drive me around town, they give me any food I want, like they clean my house, like there's anything I can do to because I don't want
Yeah.
to do it. It's just push it down the line. It's who cares? That's tomorrow Brian's problem, not mine. You know?
Yeah. DoorDash, this is embarrassing for me to admit, but this is what happened to me. Um, I got depressed and I didn't want to go to the grocery store. I knew I was already gaining weight because I wasn't doing anything because I put my job in front of my health, sitting in front of a computer. And it's not like my job promotes that. It's not like they say we want you to do that. They promote health and, work-life balance and everything like that. They ask for more from you, obviously, but everybody
Shout
knew that coming in.
shout out to Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket Mortgage, yeah, shout out Rocket Mortgage sponsor our
Sorry, go
uh
ahead. You're pouring your soul out.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I don't care if you can interrupt me pouring my soul out for a comedic value point. We're doing that. Um, but yeah, and I didn't want to be in public. I was embarrassed to be in public. None of my clothes fit, so I would order DoorDash, and I got in that spiral. Do you want to know how much money I spent on DoorDash in 2022?
In a whole year. I bet I don't know. I'll guess too high and then won't be interesting. I'll guess $1,000.
No, guess what you actually think it is.
I mean, Carol and I play this game and it ends up with us arguing because I picked 20 grand and she's like, I would never spend 20, like, whatever. I'll guess, a real guess. If you did DoorDash like once or twice a day for a year, it'd probably be like 600 times, yeah, or I'll guess 3 grand.
8.5. Eight and a half
That's
thousand dollars. That is 25% of the average household income.
and you're just
Like,
a dude, and I would argue that's probably not the most extreme person ever. You might be in like 80th percentile, but it's not like you're like there's a whole tail of the curve of people that
oh,
spend
I
20
know.
grand a year for their whole family,
Yeah,
like every
absolutely.
meal, and they're gaining weight and they're unhappy. I don't know. I'm not saying that their lives are bad, but it's just a really hard cycle to get out of, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I've learned about all this goals and habits and everything. It's just like you just don't realize how bad of a like situation you keep creating over and over again, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But now, like, I mean, it took a lot. It took a lot for me to get past that. Like, I had to move back home with my parents because I couldn't afford to live there anymore because I ate my bank account.
That's
Like, how
crazy.
that's messed up. But
Right.
then I
Yeah.
stopped. I took a couple months off work. I went on medical leave, and I got on antidepressants and everything like that, and started on a little bit of a health kick. And then I kind of regressed a little bit. And then when things started turning around, antidepressants started working. I started doing better at work and started actually getting sleep. And I was able to build myself up. And then things changed at work, and I was able to come out here and move into this house. And now I'm taking control of my health. But it was so easy to lose it. Like, not lose it as in lose the weight, but lose it as in lose control, uh,
Hmm.
and just lose yourself in that routine. I never left my desk. I was sitting down all day. I spent $1,000 on a stand-up desk, and I was sitting down all day at my computer, working until 7 o'clock at night, ordering DoorDash throughout the day, then getting stoned and playing video games until 1 or 2 in the morning and ordering $30 worth of Taco Bell, but paying $60 for it. And like, like it
That's the
was,
only
it was
way,
nuts.
right? Yeah, that's the only way to spend that much money.
Yeah. Just
It's
housing 6,000 calories of Taco Bell at 1 in the morning.
yeah, right? And it's because you would never do that unless somebody handed it to you. You know, like
Exactly.
you would never eat 4,000 calories that late at night for no reason, you know?
No.
Unless I literally handed it, like I kept putting it in your mouth for you. Like that, like
Like,
I
if that didn't exist, I wouldn't go in the fridge and make a massive meal of like 30 burritos at night or
yeah,
tacos. Like, no.
it's fulfilling your every impulse. And it's amazing for humanity, but it's so tough for every human, like individually. It's just it's so unlimited. I don't
That's why
know.
I deleted all of my social media and everything too, because I was just too drawn into it, too addicted, swiping through TikTok for 4 hours a day. Like, my screen time was insane, so I just cut it all out. I recently added back Snapchat, but sponsor a Snapchat.
Yeah.
Um, but every time we do a name drop sponsor, I don't even know if that's legal.
It's probably not.
Probably not.
It's
They're gonna be like, you used our name in something. If we get monetized, which I doubt that'll happen anytime soon, but people be like, look at these guys, they're really funny. We should pay them millions of dollars to talk about life. But for all the viewers out there watching, I'm no longer that guy that's super fat. I'm actually down 107.7 pounds as of today.
Oh, I have a you started saying like these are my opinions and like this and that. I don't know. You made me think of the Bo Burnham quote that I love quoting, which is like, don't ask me about my opinions. I only have opinions about other people's opinions.
Right.
Just like the truest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly. I love Bo. Genius right there. Sponsor us, Bo. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I'm
yeah.
glad you woke up. I'm not saying like there, if you kept down that path, like your life is still valid. It's just so, it's just
Oh, I would be dead in like 10 years, dude. You
no,
know
yeah, which ironically is your decision. Like I worked in a hospital managing social workers for 5 years, and we have a lot of people on Earth like that, and that it's their active choice to harm themselves actively, and
yeah,
I don't know what to say about that. Like it's a real fine line. But I'll say this too, though. It's like when you're in a negative spiral, it takes a like act of God to get out of it. You
yeah,
know, it takes your brain breaking with the reality that is setting in before you actually do anything about it. And that's usually drastic, but everyone's
yeah.
got their line, and it's just some people's lines. It's like too late,
You know what
or
it
or
was
the
for me? You
yeah.
know what like really got me? Obviously the dog was like the start of I'm trying to get healthy, but what got me on that mind track was I was having an anxiety attack from hell. I was having strong, sharp chest pains, and I thought I was having a heart attack. So I went to the hospital, and obviously they're overworked and everything. They're overstaffed, so I'm sitting or understaffed. I'm sitting in the waiting room, which is now the triage.
Mhm.
They've made it the triage. They don't bring you back there unless you're bleeding out of your eyes. Like they leave you in there and you're sitting in a wheelchair in a robe next to a bunch of other people and they're wheeling you back and forth for tests. They take me in, they take my blood pressure and they take my pulse. And they're like, "We need to get another machine in here." And I was like, "What's up?" And they're like, "It's not working. It says it's 124 over 73." And I'm like, "Oh, that's really good." And they're like, "Yeah, we need to take another one." And I'm like, "Okay." So they bring in another machine and it goes even lower. It's like 120 over 70. And they're like, "Well, I guess you just got a really healthy heart. Your blood pressure's good. Your pulse is very healthy." And essentially, at the end of it all, they told me that it was most likely an anxiety attack. They didn't see anything in any of my blood work or anything like that. And they basically said, "You are the healthiest fat kid we've ever seen. Your body hasn't realized you're fat yet." So
This was the
I
pep talk
was
they gave
like,
you.
"Oh, maybe I should get skinny before my body realizes I'm fat and I actually start having problems." Because like I could barely tie my shoes, dude. I wouldn't go out anywhere because it was hard for me to put shoes and socks on.
Hmm.
Like out of breath. Couldn't clip my own toenails. Had
What?
to go and get them done.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and every single time these things happen, like your brain validates it somehow. Your brain goes, "That's tomorrow's Dave's problem, not today's Dave."
Exactly.
Right? Like something
Yep.
like that happens where you just kind of go, I'm happier today to be like this than I'll ever be in the future.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to build towards the future. I'm living in it.
Yeah. Ordering 13 Red Robin fudge stuffed cookies at you know 9 o'clock at night
Because you
and housing
can,
them
right?
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
The
it's
world
the
is
hard part
mine.
is living like a king. Like you can. Like it's like 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 living like a king is 8,500 bucks. Like that's doable for most people, but
Yeah.
like I don't know.
But yeah, like I've become a completely different person because of it. And now like living out here and how simple it is, like I don't want the things that I have. Like I the only thing that I spend money on now is stuff for hunting and my computer.
I was gonna say Trump flags.
Well, Trump flags as well, but yeah, I probably should buy stock. No, I have one Trump flag and I have my Let's Go Brandon doormat. but but yeah, like my computer is my lifeblood because that's how I do my job, and the the rifles that I have for hunting and stuff is how I put food in the fridge and save money. But everything else, like I don't have anything else. I got rid of the fancy car. I don't go out and buy watches. I don't go
Oh,
out and buy shoes anymore.
you got
I
rid of your
don't.
car?
Yeah, I got a Bronco now. Just a little Bronco Sport.
What'd you have before that?
I had a 2022 Lincoln Continental.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah, that thing
I
was
deserve
sweet. I
this.
loved it. I miss it sometimes, but I like the Bronco. It's really fun. It's really fun to drive. And oh, my computer's waking up and doing its own thing right now. Okay. But sorry. It's not even on. Yes. But yeah, like I've adopted like a minimalist life in a sense, like compared to what I was doing, because I got lost in it, man. Like I was like, I'm gonna make all this money and blah blah blah, and it's gonna fix all my
Yeah.
problems. And then I made all this money and I had more problems than I wanted. Then the market crashed and I had even more problems. And then
What
I
when the
realized
market
that like
crashed, was it like a cost of living problem?
cost
Yeah.
of living and the money that we were making, we weren't writing loans. It took a long time for people to realize we're screwed. The economy
It
is
always does. It always
tanking.
takes a year longer than it should.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So all the people now that had the 299s that were rushing to refinance in 2020, they're they're losing the closing costs that they paid to buy down the rates because they're like, rates are never going to be this low, so we might as well pay, 15 grand in closing costs to get the lowest rate possible and then never refinance their mortgage again. And then the economy crashes and now you have $60,000 worth of credit card debt, so you have to settle for a 7.99 with $1,000 more on your mortgage payment, but you're saving $500 a month in credit card debt.
Yeah.
And that's the trade-off. And then what we have to sell now is don't worry about your rate. It's going to go back halfway to where it was in about a year or two when the
That's
market
a that's a
stabilizes.
bold selling point.
It's what you have to do to make people feel
No,
comfortable,
no,
but
I'm not like,
like
obviously that's life. I mean, you have to be
it's
optimistic in your
true.
role.
It's very true. It's going to happen because the market can't sustain like this. The country will fail if it does.
Yeah.
If it stays like this, the country will fail. It will have to have a bailout of some kind, or something catastrophic is going to happen, and the market's going to go straight back down because that's just what life provides. But it's it just sucks to have to tell people that.
Hmm.
And like that's why there's such a negative view of the mortgage company, because before there was no rules and anything like that, but like now people that have lived through the no rules section and then realized that they got hit bad by those people, now they just all automatically think, oh, you're just trying to rob me. I'm like, no, like the interest rate isn't everything. Like, I don't care what you say. You don't go to the register at, Meyer and say, yeah, I'm going to pay with my interest rate. Your interest rate doesn't matter. If I'm saving you $1,000 a month and you're living paycheck to paycheck, you take that deal. It doesn't matter if the interest rate's 100%. For the time being, you take that deal until you get it fixed.
See, it's interesting to me because in some ways, like you're the wake up call they need. Like just like the hospital visit was your wake up call. And
Yep.
I'd be so curious, like what percentage of people take that stimulus and go, crap, I am in a really bad place. I just got denied for a loan, and I've never had that problem before. I bet it's zero. I bet it's 1% of people that take that stimulus. But like that's the whole point is like you can't get out of these circles when you are in them. Like that's a pretty. I would say that's a pretty like awful thing to get denied for a loan that even and you if, especially if it's your first one. You know,
Yeah.
because like you're saying, like I'm sure a lot of these hadn't happened in a long, long time if
Oh,
they're going for a
they're
second house.
dumbfounded. They're like, I
Yeah.
have $400,000 worth of equity in my home, and you're telling me I can't use it? And I'm like, yes, you destroyed your credit with credit card debt. I
Yeah.
don't care if you have $1 million in equity in your home, you have bad payment history. We're not
Yeah.
giving you money because when it's not your money, the equity in your home isn't yours until you sell the home.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to pull money out of that, you're looking to borrow, you're looking to give up 20% of your home in order to get that money. But people have this misconception that the equity is theirs. It's
Hmm.
theirs when you sell the home, when you give up ownership of the home.
Hmm.
When you're asking for a piece of it, you're borrowing our money. But people
Yeah.
don't understand that. And they get mad about it. And they're like, I have all this and I make X amount of dollars and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you make X amount of dollars and you have all this, but you weren't fiscally responsible and you made bad choices. Or, life events happen that just, it's unfortunate, the hand that you were dealt, and it cripples them. But I've been doing this for almost 6 years now, and I've had one person, and I wrote their loan yesterday. I had one person that I told, you need to do this loan. It's going to save your life. And they said, no, I'm going to wait. I can handle this. That was 3 weeks ago. They called me today and they were like, you were absolutely right. I want to move forward with the loan. Let's get this done today. I can't handle this on my own. Then I didn't even bother asking what changed them, because I knew, she had a ton of debt. She was drowning in debt. She's, like I said, she made like $45,000 a year.
Wow.
And her debt to income ratio before I paid off any debts was 107%. Meaning,
107?
yeah, so she
She has
made
more debt
45
than
grand a year, and
she
her
makes?
debts encompassed all of her income.
Does that include like cars?
It includes auto loans, credit cards, personal loans, any sort of mortgage. And then
Okay.
medical debts don't count. Medical debts are never counted against your debt to income ratio. So it's anything that can be reported on a credit report can be counted, but you don't, like, if it's self-reported, like, how some utility companies will say, do you want to report this to your credit report for payments to build your credit? And those don't count against your debt to income. You can choose not to do that. But her debt to income ratio before groceries, gasoline, insurance on her cars, cell phone bills, any utility, was 107%. She was literally digging into her savings just to make ends meet every single month. And she still said, I can get out of this. Because nobody wants to admit that they were wrong.
So if I buy a new house and I put whatever 10 grand down and it's a $210,000 house, do I have $200,000 worth of debt associated with me? Because then my debt to income would be like, a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know what's the main killer in debt to income ratios right now? Student loans. Because even if you're in deferment on your student loans, if you're on a regular conventional loan, 1% of the total amount that you owe is considered your monthly payment for that. So if you have $100,000 worth of student loans, your debt to income ratio is hit by $1,000 a month.
Well, yes, but the new Biden rules, it's 0.5% now.
Only on FHA.
Yeah, okay. That's the
On a
one
government
deal.
loan.
So.
That's always been. It's not
Oh,
new.
you mean
It's
the
always been.
personal loan? You mean like commercial student loans, not government student loans.
Any student loan.
Okay.
Any student loan
Max
is
is 1%
conventional
on any student loan?
1%, and then on in Freddie, if it's Fannie Mae, if it's Freddie Mac, it's 0.5%. And
Yeah.
then if it's FHA, it's 0.5%, or VA,
Mm.
it's 0.5%.
Yeah.
So any government sponsored loan is 0.5, but that's how it's always been. I don't know why. I don't follow the news. I honestly really don't much. I get the Army Times, and that's about it. So I didn't know that there was something out there for Biden saying that, it's now 0.5% against your debt to income ratio, but that has been in place for as long as I've been in the mortgage industry, for 6 years now. So,
I mean, it affects us by a lot of money. So I
oh
know it
yeah,
pretty clearly. Yeah. Like we owe two houses.
yeah, of course,
We owe two houses. So
right,
I mean, it'll be fine in like 3 years, but it's a lot.
of
It's a lot of
course, of
monopoly
course,
money right now. It's just,
yeah. That's the thing. Like my brother, he hit a lot of student loan debt, a lot of it, and the reason being for that was so many people just said, "Oh, it's just, you'll pay it off, you'll pay it off, you'll pay it off. It's no big deal." So everybody's maxing it out just to live the high life in college. Yeah, they're
Oh,
paying
for
for the
sure.
books, they're paying for the classes, and then like $3 grand extra for partying, whatever. Oh, I can get approved for 25 grand for this semester, and my semester's 10 grand. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's
I was
exactly what I
always,
did.
that's what I started to do at Ferris before I got kicked out.
You get kicked
But
out?
oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I got a 3.7 my first semester and a 0.0 my second semester.
That's like Dave to a T, man. It's Dave's a genius until he gets bored, and then he just doesn't know what to do,
Yep.
and usually like lashes out and harms himself somehow. Yeah, that's no, yeah. You're a shark, man. You gotta keep moving. Like
Yep.
there's no other way, or you just die.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Well,
so funny.
that's why I've done what I've done. I've
You did the same thing
dropped.
at DLSL too, I think. You did AP
Mhm.
classes for like half, one semester or half a semester or whatever, and
Yeah.
then and you had like an A or B, and then like and
And then I
then
was
you
like,
got
yeah,
bored again, and then
I'm
you're
gonna
like,
go
what's
do
the
whatever I
point?
want.
Yeah, yeah, man, that's hard.
I'm gonna mute myself real quick while I use the restroom and also take my dog outside. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just take you with me outside because I can use the restroom outside and nobody will know, except for the 100,000 viewers that we have live right now. Hopefully, that pack of coyotes from earlier is gone because they were screaming earlier from across the way. They're probably like a half mile away, but Zoopy wasn't going to the bathroom because of it, and I don't blame him. I don't want to deal with that at all right now.
We went to Gatlinburg for Romel's bachelor party.
Hmm.
Yeah, this was like a month or two ago, and we stayed like in this cabin and kind of in the woods, and there were bears that would show up every night, and
Oh yeah.
and we would like throw food to them. I mean, no, we didn't actually do that, but we
Don't kill the wildlife.
they got into the trash cans and stuff, so they, you know,
Oh, of
it's
course.
like a thing, which is kind of funny.
No, we got bear out here, but it's not like you don't really see them all that often. Every like maybe like once a month you'll see one in the distance or something like that, but
Yeah.
nothing like a regular occurrence. This dog is running through these treats, man. You go, Chubby.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't know that about you, that you're having money problems and you were
Oh yeah, I
having
was struggling.
heart
I was struggling
attacks.
for a minute when the market dunked, but now I'm
Mhm.
doing great.
Yeah.
But I've like I I make money that I do now, but I'm able to save because I've dropped everything. Like I've made sure that all of my bills are as low as possible and I don't have any outstanding payments or anything like that that's gonna put me in a tough position. So like my bill, and I'm blessed to have this house here for as low a payment as I have. I mean, it's $1,200 a month for this house, and it's incredible.
Mm. Yeah, that's
And
all. That's good for a whole house.
so
Yeah.
like my total bills for the month are $2,200. I could go work at McDonald's right now if I needed,
Mm.
if I absolutely had to. So, and that's what I had to do, and it took a while for me to learn that, but like,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
sometimes you have to hit the bottom to do it.
please, just I don't know. Like, I'm sorry if this is like not a good question, but like, do you notice that like that happens to you? Like I notice patterns in my own behavior in life.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if like what you think about that, or because like, I know like the drinking thing was for a while, and now that like the eating thing, like it's nothing like negative. It's just like,
No, I don't
how
take
do
offense
you
to
handle
anything you
that? Because
ask
it's
me
like,
to. We've
no, no,
been
no.
friends
I
for
mean, like, how do you
years.
handle that? Because I think the hard part is there's multiple years in between them, is my point. It's like it's really hard because you build up all these like new tools to solve that problem, and then you slowly lose them because your life becomes, not chaotic, and then you start building a bad habit up again until it collapses. I'm not saying you do that. I said I do that too, actually. So it's like it's so hard because it's so cyclical, but
Yeah.
there's so much time in between that your brain forgets how
Yeah.
you solved
So
this problem last time.
I'm I'm glad you asked that actually, because that's was going to be my next point. I went through all of those stages without addressing the real problem. I had band-aids for the problem, but I never addressed my depression and anxiety head on.
Do you think the
I
meds are
never
now
went to
guiding you?
therapy properly and like was truly truthful to my
Hmm.
therapist until I met my one therapist, Mubin, and I texted him today. I talked to him for about an hour. He has a YouTube channel that he just created his first video,
Good for
and
him,
he's
man.
editing it right now, and he's literally the reason I'm still alive. He
Yeah,
is
man.
hands down the best therapist I've ever had, and I've went through many, and
Mm-hmm.
he is phenomenal. I mean,
You know, my
it's
therapist is
just
my best friend, man. I
yeah,
keep telling her, like, you need to give me 5 years notice before you retire. I don't want to hear it, you know?
yeah.
So
I
yeah.
don't like I don't ever want to talk to anybody else. Like I stopped therapy because he helped me so much, and
Oh, you
like
stopped.
it was him because yeah, I haven't gone to a regular therapy session now in I want to say like 2 months, 3 months.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I keep going just because I feel like I'll lose track of, I'll do the thing. I'll do the cyclical fucking thing unless I have a coach there every week to say, like, you're doing the thing again, you
That's the
know?
thing though.
So,
Like he helped me get past all of my large problems that I needed to, and then he moved out of our company's network. And
hmm.
now he's in another state, and he's opening up his own practice. So essentially, we just keep contact throughout the weeks, like, and he basically just provides therapy without doing like a FaceTime.
Hmm.
And then my brother is also a therapist, and I talked to him. Now we had a horrible relationship like 2 years ago, and then we just
Really?
kind of like let it
Hmm.
blow. Oh, we got into it very bad. Got into it very bad. I was very, very upset with him and his lifestyle and everything like that. And I won't get too into it because I don't want to air out his life. Um, but he turned everything around. Like he finally realized he had some issues that he had to work on, and he did. And our relationship has never been better. I mean, we're running a half marathon together in April, so
And
like,
holding hands the whole time, I heard.
yeah.
Right.
Well, let's keep it PG here, but yeah.
I was about to say
Um,
the same joke. God damn it. I don't know, man. I don't
Everybody's
know
seen
what
an
I'm going
elephant
for with
train.
this. I don't
Um,
mean to like make this stupid, but yeah.
no, 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 you're fine. You're fine, dude. Stop apologizing for adding comedy. That's what this is about. It's really just a whole scheme. None of this is true. It's all just us trying to push our comedy
I've
careers.
never
But
met you actually.
I don't know who you are, Dad. But no, but I lost my train of thought actually.
You're talking about your brother.
Yeah, but why?
Well, I was about to comment actually that do you think he has a
Oh,
similar
therapy.
cyclical behavior? Because I think I would argue probably to maybe we all do. I don't know, but you guys have very extreme ones in my opinion.
We do, we do. But like he flipped everything around like pretty strongly, and now we have a great relationship. And so like I'm able to have those conversations with him and be like, why am I doing this? Or like he's like, hey, you need to check in with yourself. And so I have like free therapy, I guess you could say,
Yeah,
from both ends, from a stranger
yeah,
and from somebody that I know that understands my life a lot more. So
yeah. No, that's great. I wasn't judging at all about stopping. I think most people stop. That's the whole point. Usually, is
oh,
the goal is to
I
stop.
know,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the end goal. But it's always good. You stop going to official therapy, but you never stop going to therapy if you continue to check up on yourself. If you continue to check up on your mental health, that's going to make all the difference. If you stop doing that and stop like thinking at the end of the day, okay, how did my day go? Did I overreact to anything that I didn't need to? Did I milk something and make myself feel like crap for hours when it could have just been like, whatever, it's no big deal.
mm.
I've learned to let so many things go. Now, going off of the antidepressants, I've been off of antidepressants now for over a month. The only side effect that I had thus far was my temper. I can lose my shit really fast, but
On them or off them.
off them. It's a side effect. It's usually the first side effect that comes with getting off of fluoxetine, and it's the last to leave. So it's apparently like because fluoxetine is an SSRI, and so it takes so long for it to get out of your system.
What made
Um,
you want to stop the antidepressants?
because I wasn't depressed anymore, because I was losing weight and I'm doing the things that are natural antidepressants.
Mhm. Was it
And
was that your goal at the beginning?
my goal, I was so terrified to go on them. That's why I struggled so much for
Yeah,
so
I
many
am
years,
too.
man.
Yeah, me too. I'm scared to go on them. I don't want to be a different person, but I don't
You
want
won't
to be me
be.
either. So it's like,
Dude, that's exactly what I said. And the first week was rough. The first week, like your brain's going through the chemical changes and it's hard to sleep and you're like thinking, am I crazy? Is this nuts? Am I taking medication? Why am I taking medication? And all that stuff. But once you let it be, it seriously saved my life. And I wouldn't have taken it without Mubin, and I wouldn't have taken it with actually my friend Miranda from work. She was the one that was like, I'm on them. They didn't change me. They just helped me. And I'm still going through my stuff. And I honestly, like, I was, you know me, I wouldn't take Tylenol. I was afraid of
Yeah.
all medication of any kind. Even just taking vitamins, I wasn't comfortable with
So
it at
I was
first.
too until I met Carol, and she was like, "Take as many as you want. Like these are not addictive. Just go nuts." Because
Yeah.
I don't want to put anything in my body. I don't know
No,
where that
it
comes
helped
from.
me so much. It gave me the ability to fall asleep faster, and
Hmm.
I maintain that afterwards. Like I could still fall asleep, no problem now. I was never able to do that. And obviously I'm healthier now. It's easier for me to breathe. Like that was another thing. I was so big that I couldn't lay on my back and fall asleep because I would choke.
Really?
Hmm.
Were you a side sleeper?
Face sleeper actually.
Face sleeper, 400 pounds face sleeper. Jesus.
Yeah,
I
that's
used
what
to
I
be a
had to
face
do.
sleeper. I prefer it, but I my neck started hurting and I couldn't do it anymore.
I
And if I can't
found
sleep on my back because I snore so much, and ironically, I lost 20 pounds and I don't snore as much, even though I was within an average BMI to begin with, which is weird, right?
right.
Um, but so I guess I'm a side sleeper now, and I don't sleep
Oh,
as
you
well as I did
snored
on my face.
since sixth
Oh
grade,
my
man.
God, right? And I've
I
never been fat.
remember the
New
first
Year's
time
Eve,
that I
right?
stayed the night at your house in the basement. We played NHL, and you fell asleep, and I heard, and I was like,
I,
"What the hell is that?" And it didn't sound like any normal snore. Like it sounded like it hurt you every
it
time.
does. I wake up with my throat feels not great, and I definitely have TMJ
Hmm.
from grinding my teeth while I snore. It's yeah, I'm a very
Well, that's the cocaine, of course.
well, I'm just a like my dad and I are very anxious people. We just
Hmm.
need to plan every little detail about everything, and when we don't know something, we figure it out. Like actively. We like need to know.
If you
And
go on like a light antidepressant, I guarantee that will stop, dude.
no, I mean, I think I've found the solution, but maybe that's the solution too. But I really just let things go. You know, by taking a small amount. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you able to fall asleep though? Are you like getting sleep regularly?
It knocks me out. No, I take a downer.
Oh, okay.
It turns my brain from anxious to enjoyment,
Nice.
from yeah, no, it's a downer and I need it. It just I it's it just lets me it turns off the voice in my head that's negative. That's what
Yeah.
it does. It's either neutral or positive, but the fact that that voice is off finally, because it's just stabbing you all day in the head,
Yep.
it's once that's off, you're just like, what is this place? Like, why is it so bad? Why is everything so bad all the time? Who is telling me that? That
Right.
is stupid. That it doesn't make any sense. This is all pretty good, actually. So that's been my thing, and it's been amazing. Like my average day is a great day. Like I got a demotion and I have a better job. I don't have stress. I do things that are easy to me all day, and I make the same amount of money. And I don't manage any people, and I work from home, and I get to do this kind of stuff, and I get to work on my side projects in my free time. And and I don't have to wake up until like 7:30. Like I can like hang out at night because I'm a night owl. I used to have to
Can
wake
we?
up at like 6 a.m. and get all the kids up and to school by 6:30 and stupid stuff like that when an hour commute. Oh my God. Like this is my age 32 and hopefully my age 33 are like the best years I've had so far. When I really think about it, like when you really break down like the stress and like and the control, like I get to mess with the kids from 5 until 8:30 and on weekends, and that's their time, not mine. So I'm 100% present as a parent, and the fact that my weekdays are me time and therefore my weekends are their time makes me a better dad. Like I'm not like trying to get away from them all day. I'm like, this is your time. Like
We
we're here for you right now. Like, let's what do you want to poop? You want to do puzzles? Whatever. I'm right here. I'm not like trying to get away from them all day, like
That's me
so
with the dog.
yeah,
can,
get off of
can we
me. Yeah.
can we talk about how different our lives have been to end up in almost the same place, just minus the fact that I don't have a family, but like we
No,
literally
I think
both work from home. We both do well for ourselves. We're both happy with where we're at right now. And
it seems to keep happening, right? That's the funny part.
yeah.
But I think it speaks to two things. Like this is a negative connotation, but like I think your intelligence is what keeps you moving forward. Like when you like get stuck, you like fall back on that and it like springboards you back into the future where you're like, but I think
Hmm.
my lack of taking risks or getting close to breaking rules or whatever, like my lack of like pushing for jobs or more money than I could have, I think is also happening too, which I'm trying to address right now. But like I think it's a little bit of everything, where
Yeah.
it's I think you have more of a try new things than I do, and I think it also gives you the power to like grow faster. So
I can see that. Yeah, I can see the thought process behind that. That's pretty accurate. Um, I wanted to, because just to back up a little bit, when I told you like I was having temper problems and everything like
oh
that,
yeah.
like that's the only thing. I almost quit my job the other day out of rage because
Oh okay,
I
so they're very real. They're like that's
yes, it's
that's a
intense
little
rage.
scary,
Like
right? Yeah, that
it is,
do
it
you have like
is,
a
but
safe
I've
word or something where you're
noticed
like,
it
this
now.
is sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was like, do you have a safe word or something? Like you're like once you hit a point where you're like, I no longer am allowed to make decisions for the next 20 minutes. Like I don't know how you can do that because when you're frustrated, you like don't want to listen to yourself. But like I'm trying to build up that habit of like because I'm not this is still your story. But I have this
No,
thing
you're
where it's
fine.
like when um when I give Carol like the eyes and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, I
Hmm.
go, I'm gonna go take 5 minutes upstairs. And I just go upstairs and I put my face into a pillow and I count to eight over and over again. And then I come back down and I'm a happy parent again. And for whatever reason, I like found that point where I'm like, when I'm about to say something my dad would say, I go, I need 5 minutes, and then I go upstairs. So, anyways, but I'm like, it's really hard to find that line, of like, this is now harming me. Like I'm being myself, but it's actually really destructive to future Dave. So I don't know, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Especially with anger is like such a hard one to do that with.
I just don't do what I want to do. I literally do not give in to any of the temptation and I battle it entirely. And then the last time when I thought I was going to quit my job, I called my mom. Straight up called my mom and I was
That's a
like,
good one. Do you agree with
I
this
need you to
decision?
talk to me right now because I'm about to leave my job in a very unprofessional way. And it was all because I was uh I was out of work while Ashley not out of work. I was on vacation when Ashley and Jeremy came here the other weekend, and apparently at that point we had decided that we are going to every other weekend per month instead of every 3 weekends.
Oh, you have to
So,
work more.
mhm.
Okay.
And I had hunting planned. So I found out 2 days before it all goes down that I see on my calendar we're working on Saturday, and I was like, what's going on? I thought we figured out a way that we have the same amount of people and the same amount of coverage. Why would we need to go to every other weekend? And he's like, the rest of the banking world is every other weekend. Well, I'm just surprised we're not even talking about Sundays at this point. And that right there, that comment, like,
No, yeah.
I didn't respond to it. I shut my computer down and I was just like, I need to step away. I need to step away. I need to step away. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit my job. I had it typed up. I said, hey, bud, I'm sorry, but that's it. I'm done. And I had it typed up, ready to hit enter. And
So what
I,
happened? How'd you do it? You said I need to call my mom before I do this.
I sat there for a second. I was like, what am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do here? Okay, have some savings. I have my 401k. You know, it'd be pretty cool if I just took like 4 months off, lived off of savings, got shredded, really concentrated on my health, and then found another job somewhere else.
Kim
And it was a
YouTuber.
very real possibility. I could absolutely have done that. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna call my mom, talk to her for a little bit, and see. Mom's at the casino with Dad in Mackinac Island.
I
I'm
cannot
like,
picture them at
what?
a casino.
And she's like, don't do anything rash, but if that's how it's gonna be, then I've been telling you for this entire time. You're working too much. You're gonna kill yourself. You're working too much. You're killing yourself. And she's like, that's your time and they're not respecting it. So, you know, but don't do anything rash. Have something set up. Wait a little bit, breathe it out. And my dad was like, don't quit. They'll win if you quit.
There you
Make them
go.
fire you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
No,
like,
that's very powerful to other them to say like, no, they're on the other team, man. I'm not, like I'm
I'm the
against
prize to
them.
be won here.
Yeah. 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 No, I mean,
So,
I'll say this, it's really hard to get fired too. Like you can drag
yeah,
that on for months if you wanted to. Not that I have ever,
exactly.
but like you could definitely can.
So, like, the biggest FU I could do is stick with it and keep grinding and keep having them pay me.
You know the biggest FU you could possibly do? You Ron Swanson it.
Yep.
You beat it from the inside. I cannot stop thinking
Oh, I
about
thought you
how
meant just
funny.
set appointments, years down the road for everybody on a date that you think doesn't exist.
No, it's side note, like what? I can't. It's such a smart character. Like the idea,
Oh
like to
yeah.
create a person that works in the Parks and Rec that is actively trying to break them
To
is so
dismantle the
funny because it's
establishment.
such a hill to die on that no one has ever got on. Like
That
who is
character
anti
is
Parks and Rec?
arguably the most genius
Like
character ever created in sitcom history.
it's
Like,
I mean, aside from his like character, it's just like that just the idea of him existing somewhere is so funny to me.
yeah,
Like there is a Ron Swanson out there that thought the best, like it's kind of like it's like inverse Dwight. It's like they think it's the worst place on earth, so they join.
yep,
Like
exactly. It's like I can't stand, the school board, so I'm gonna get on it and, destroy it from the inside
right.
out.
It's
No.
evil, man. Like deep.
Oh, it is. It is. It really is.
And you're gonna spend years of your life doing that. Like you care so much
Right.
that you're gonna
The
go
slow
go to work
play.
every day.
but but yeah, so I talked to my mom and my dad and everything, and that's what they said, and I was like, all right, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll go ahead and do that. So I stuck it out, and this was the most act of God, universe, whatever you want to call it, thing that could have happened. Let me get this email up here real
Are you
quick.
loading up a drum roll right now?
Yes.
I
No,
am
no, no,
not.
no. I'm looking for an email. Hi, Dave. Sorry this email is late. It's 5 years later and then some. Figured I'd check in and see how reality matched up to your idea of the future self. How are things? Hope you're doing awesome and you should be proud of all you've accomplished. Keep up the great work. Your friend, Carl Larson. Carl Larson is the gentleman that hired me into Rocket Mortgage and did my first interview. He hired me on the spot and he asked me to write a letter to myself 5 years from now. And on the day that I thought I was going to quit my
Are you
job,
kidding me?
dead
Are you kidding me?
serious.
That is the craziest thing I've heard in a long
Wait
time.
till I read it to you.
Oh my God.
Dear future Dave, I'm writing this letter to you to tell you how proud I am of you and all your accomplishments thus far as a member of Quicken Loans family and in life in general. You have far exceeded even your own expectations of success within the company and life and are well on your way to yet another successful 5 years in life in general. That being said, this is no time to gloat or kick back. Remember the reasons you wanted this job in the first place. You wanted to change your life direction, explore new ideas, and continuously advance your way to the top. Now is the time to dig even deeper. Look back on mistakes made, find areas of improvement, and better yourself at every opportunity possible. Take the bad days with the good and turn them into your personal motivation to be the best version of yourself you can be, like you've done in the past. Above all, remember that you're a soldier, not only when you put on the uniform, but always. Remember the soldier's creed and its most important words: I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. Quitting is not in your blood. You were raised better than that. On the days you question yourself and your decisions, think back on everything that you've already overcome and where you are now. Keep fighting, keep pushing your limits, keep moving forward, and stay the course. Respectfully, yourself. Like, what the hell, dude?
I'm speechless, man. That's just a crazy situation.
Like, I literally sat there and I was like, I got nothing. I got nothing.
What did you take that as like the thing? Like that is the decision I need to make? This is
Yeah,
the universe telling me kind of thing?
of course.
Okay.
Like, how
Yeah.
I don't know how else I could explain that. I don't know if they're monitoring my screen and they saw that I'm fucking quitting right out there. Like,
You typed it out.
excuse my
They
language.
have
We'll
like
bleep that out.
they have keyboards. They're checking what you're typing, and if they ever says like I quit,
They're
that
like,
they
oh,
immediately
send the letter,
send you
send the letter, send the letter.
Microsoft Teams.
Red alert! We got a 2319.
Dude, no one knows what a
Monsters
2319
Inc.
is.
sponsor us.
I know. I've said that joke to probably 50 people, and I get a just deadpan every time from
Oh,
them. Like, what
absolutely.
what is that? Oh my god.
Anytime I hear
2319.
somebody say 29 or
23.
2
If I
for
hear 23,
50,
I go 19.
no, 29 or 2 for 50. Mr. Allen's. Nobody knows what the hell that is out here.
I
Nobody knows.
I did that too. Oh well, definitely there. I definitely like Carol said 29 and I said 250.
2 for 50, $10. Like, you can't not. And everybody's like, what is that? And I'm like, Mr. Allen.
Oh god.
Nobody ever
No.
knows what Mr. Allen's is like.
I've seen probably one or two of them.
Oh, I
In
went
Darwin
inside
anyway.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went inside the one on Jefferson, and it was awesome. It was really awesome because I was wearing my Jordans. I have those cement fours that my director bought for me as a what's it called, like a promotion gift, like $700 pair of sneakers. And I'm like, I don't wear sneakers, but all right. And I put them on. I was like, these are clouds. I love these. Like, why wouldn't I wear these? So I wore them in there, and immediately I was like, oh, I got a fit just for those. And they like walked me around and showed me the entire outfit, and I was like, off of shoes. Like right away, they just need like it was just cool. It was just cool the way that they did it. I
That's
didn't buy anything.
amazing.
I just like looked around, but like the guy saw the shoes and just boom, instant. I'm like, why is this like? Well, why is Mr. Allen's what it is? Like I feel like it should be broadcast. Like this is pretty badass. But
I mean, they had several. They had probably like 10 locations at some point. So I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean they
Yeah,
got
no,
badass shoes and sneakers and stuff like that, and just really dope T-shirts and hats and stuff. It's awesome, but yeah, like nobody ever knows what the hell I'm talking about when I make those references, man. Nobody knows. I make so many references. Like I ruin our Teams chat at work because like
Mm.
people are like, I need a shortage on this loan and blah blah blah, and I'm in there just like throwing GIF after GIF after GIF after smart ass remark on everybody. Like it just
See,
it cracks me up.
no,
But
I don't I think you know this about me. Like I am a robotic worker. I do
mhm,
not have a personality. I am here to serve. I do not say anything negative. I am only productive, and if you ever are looking for me to be slacking, I never show you I am.
yep.
And I don't like I think my dad instilled that in me during the 2008 crash that like you're so effing expendable at any moment of any day that they'll just like no one will ever care a week later, and not to be sad or like whatever, but like it's
No.
like I just I've never let go of that, and I'm 100% robotic. I have no personality. I'm happy to be here. I'm just like the perfect person, and I refuse to let my personality come out. I working from home after a year, I still wear a button up whenever we have a call that's gonna be, and everyone else is like in their t-shirts and like
They're
loungewear or
lucky if
whatever.
I have a shirt on.
I know. I can't
I
let go
got
of
half
it.
a tit in my face and everything.
I it's been a year, and I think I only had a t-shirt on once so far, and it just doesn't it feels like I'm wearing jeans to a funeral. It's just like I'd rather be called out to be weirdly overdressed than anything. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't let go of this. Like, if I'm not like in the top half of the team, I'm screwed kind of thing. Like, I need to be up there, or else they're gonna like I'm done. You know? I don't know.
That's kind of like the motivation to you get your do whatever the hell you want card when you're producing. When you're not
Yeah,
producing and when they have to micromanage is when you have no slack. You have no slack on the leash. It's just tugging every bit. But if you're producing and you're in the top, even if you're just in the top, 30% or 40%, they leave you alone. They don't
yeah.
ask questions. If I
You know
punch
what it
out at
is?
5 o'clock after writing 2 loans, then they don't ask questions.
My biggest fear in life and in work for sure is to be labeled, because I know once you label somebody something, it's the first thing you think about whenever you interact with them, and you assume everything that you're seeing validates that label, even if it's contrary to real data.
Yeah.
And so I'm so scared to get labeled anything negative, anything other than pleasant and hardworking, because it just what else is there, like they're just going to come back to it the moment they have to make a tough decision. That because I learned this the hard way as a manager. You know how you make decisions? It's how easy will I sleep tonight?
Yep.
That's how capitalism works. It's like I need to fire somebody, and I'm gonna pick the person that I feel like it's fine. Like it won't
Yeah.
kill them, and it'll be okay. You know? And once I learned that that's not a meritocracy, kind of like Bo Burnham says, like I was like, okay, what
Yeah.
is the point of this? Like, I don't know that. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Like, not gonna be last in the team, but like, Jesus Christ, that's how we make decisions here in like the real world, like in the adult world, is just like, who
You
who do I
remember
care
John
least
Carlo,
about?
right?
What?
You remember John Carlo Bernoni?
Yeah, he got like drafted, was playing the minor leagues, I think, for a while.
He's my director.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Good for him, man. Yeah.
Yeah. He's my
I don't know if
director. And
you know that then. He was like drafted. He was like, I think he was drafted and playing the minor
yeah,
leagues
he
for a
played for the
while.
Whitecaps and then he played for the Tigers for a little bit, but he was just inconsistent and they didn't want him.
Whatever, 10 times better than anything I've ever done. So that's amazing.
He's a scratch
He's
golfer now
always super
too.
nice to me. He's his cousins. I think he's cousins with Erica Podsiadly, who was like my friend in high school for a while.
Oh,
So
okay.
I met him like
Oh yeah,
probably
yeah,
10
yeah. I
times.
remember her. I remember her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the best director I've ever had in my life. He's straight up, and like since we go back, like he never like sugarcoats anything. He just tells me straight up how it is. This is what I need. This is what, and that's it. Super easy. He's unbelievable to work for. Just absolutely fantastic human. So he makes it really easy, but like he knows how I am. He knows I'm a country boy. He knows I like to hunt. He knows that he always I'm the funny guy that's the hunter. That's who
Yeah.
I am.
Just as long as, yeah, just don't be the problem child. Honestly, like they'll get rid of the problem child when it comes down to it. Everyone
Oh
else
yeah,
is
I'm
just
not the
themselves.
problem child. We
Yeah.
all know who the problem child is. We have several of them on our team, but they're just always negative and questioning everything. But like I'm the one that keeps everything real and like I'm just unapologetically myself, but I'm
Yeah.
never negative in the chat like just for the sake of making noise.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are like, I wish we could go back to this program. I'm like, that served no purpose in the chat whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
My Patrick Starr liar liar plants for hire gif served more purpose because it had comedic value and it brought morale up. And you're in there like, I wish we could go back to our old system. Something that's useless and arbitrary that's never going to happen. Why? What purpose did that serve? So I don't post anything without a purpose, and more often than not, the
No,
purpose is comedic value. But like that helps the team. It really does. Like
yeah.
if you're having a shit day and you look at a funny gif that's just perfectly timed, like it helps. It
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
So that's the only label that I've received. But in terms of negative connotation, no, I've never had a negative label at the company. That's for sure.
You get funny guy label.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Funny
No,
guy,
I
you can.
mean, I would say arguably you are a funny guy, so it makes sense that
I
they've
appreciate it.
figured that out slowly.
Well,
But
funny, haha, like funny like a clown. But yeah, man. I mean, ever since I started losing weight and everything, like everything's turned around. Everything's turned around. My life is completely different. Every day I wake up, I feel amazing. Like it's just You just want to punch yourself in the face for ever getting to that point again. Because I've done it so many times, dude. Like my buddies from work call me the shapeshifter because I see them now like every 6 months to a year. And so far, there's been a difference of like 150 pounds every single time. So the last time they saw me was at the Christmas party, and I was 415.
I'm sure you think of this as not a positive, but if there was something true about Dave, is he's always changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more just like maybe that's one of your rules. It's like I change no matter what. And every time I think I'm not going to, I do pretty quickly. And so I just need to keep making sure that change is good.
Yep.
Like, and that's like the hard part, right? Like, because you just like it's just one day at a time kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, no, I mean that's literally you've seen like other of these like episodes where it's like it's just me and my stupid goals. Like I know my one of my things is I will quit unless I see myself in the eyes and I go, "What are you thinking?"
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe one of your things is like changing. I don't know what that means, but like just
Yeah. No, that's held consistent throughout my entire life.
yeah,
Just constant drastic change. But like, I feel like I'm at a point now where I found I found where I want to be. Like, I never really felt the sense of home. Even when I was married to Holly and I was living in that apartment, any of the apartments that we lived in, I never felt home. Downtown Detroit, never felt home. Living at my parents' house where I grew up, I didn't feel home.
yeah,
I came here and it was like instant,
yeah,
absolutely instant, and that's why I did what I did. And now, like, I think like this is it. Like, maybe not
yeah,
this specific house, but this is where I'm gonna stay. And I kind of found like my little niche, and I'll hold on to that for as long as I possibly can. But I'm on this health run right now, and
yeah.
that can't go away because the moment it does, I might go away. So I need
No,
to
I don't
stay
know if this came
healthy
up
for
in
that.
therapy for you, but something that I talk about a lot is there's this like psychology theory that like of a hierarchy of needs, like your basic is like food and water, and that's like enough sleep and money and like whatever. And like you kind of move all the way up it. And I like to believe that, and I think you're describing this too as for yourself, is like my goal in life is to move up it,
Hmm.
into like the more abstract ones where I'm like building a culture and a generational wealth and like like things that like I don't I like having enough food to eat is laughable. I don't that's not a goal anymore.
Right.
Um but the hard part about the hierarchy of needs is like anytime you cross one of them, all of the other ones get a little shaky and they get a
Yeah.
little unstable. Like the second I start trying to like build a company, I need to make sure that my relationship with my wife is still like active and positive because it's one time versus another time, quality time. Like,
Hmm.
um, but I don't know. You're kind of reminding me of that. Is like it's funny because I feel like finding home for you was on there, right? And you like crossed it, so now you're like, okay, now I just need to not have a crappy life here. Like now that like now let's get back in charge of this mission that I'm on, rather than like I don't know. And I think home can like help. I didn't really feel home until I moved to Toledo, honestly, which kind of
Hmm.
sucks, but you know, it's my family lives here, so I it's nice. But it's just like it's just a place that's familiar at this point, I guess. And it's like a real
Yeah.
house. But
Yeah. Absolutely.
we are hoping to move to Atlanta eventually, and I'm hoping to like live next door to Janelle, and I think that will feel good. So
Yeah. That'd be awesome. How's she doing?
yeah.
She doing good?
Yeah, yeah, she turns 30 in 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, gross.
So we're going to Georgia next or this weekend to go hang with her. So yeah,
Oh, nice.
her and Steven are
Nice.
married, and yeah, they're happy. They're they got their problems sometimes, but
Of
they're
course.
happy, and they're
Good.
they're trying to decide if they want to have kids or not. They're trying to decide if and when to buy a house, that kind of stuff. But she's like,
Don't don't buy a house in the next year, please.
I don't know. It's hard
Isn't she
because
working for like
that's
GE or something?
Church for Delta, so they
Hmm.
get to fly anywhere for free. And so that they've been the last 3 years of their life, pretty much every other weekend they go somewhere crazy.
Nice.
So. Yeah, I know it's like cool. Like do it now. Like why not? Right? Like I never appreciated how much time I should have spent doing things when I now have no time to do anything. So,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah, when I went to visit Amy in London last year, like that was like the I need to put myself in a position to minimize every single expense possible so I can travel and
mm,
go places. And then I developed my love for hunting again. And that involves a lot of travel. I can go to Montana, I can go all over the US, I can go all over the world to hunt different game and stuff like that. So that's my next big goal is to travel for hunting and stuff like that. What
yeah.
did you how did you do that? He just pulled the vent out of the tile floor somehow.
Okay.
What's
That,
up, buddy? It's all
that's not good.
right. That's impressive. How did you do that? I can't even get it back in. Oh, there we go. All right, we're good. Yeah, I know. I know. I haven't been paying attention to him enough. It's been a whole hour, right? But yeah, that's my next like stage and goals and everything like that is to be
Mm,
able to do that. So when this economy flips, if it ever does, that's gonna be the focus. But I'll be
no,
back on
no.
skates playing hockey in a couple months.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Really excited for that. So maybe one of these weekends I can come out and throw some hip checks around in your league.
Yeah, we need subs sometimes. Yeah.
What is up? This guy is just all over me right now. Normally he's sleeping. What, you need to go outside again? Yep. This is what I got.
That's what that means.
Yep. I didn't train him that. That's just how I got him. I don't understand.
Well,
I still haven't heard
similarly,
him bark either.
my eldest, my 3-year-old,
Hmm.
is getting potty trained right now, and she's actually doing okay. She
That's
had
awesome.
some accidents for the last few months, but last 3 days, last couple weeks, she's been okay. Last 3 days, no
Nice.
accidents. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It happens so fast. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like she's been fighting it, fighting it, fighting it, and then one day she just can do it. Like it's like I don't know.
It's awesome though. That's a big milestone.
Yeah, and then my 1-year-old is teething and he's just rolling around angry all night. And I gave him all the meds he can have, so I don't know what to do about this.
You know what helps relieve tooth pain? Copenhagen's long cut mint. Sponsor us.
They're gonna say just rub some whiskey on his gums.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, where are you going, buddy? He's going far. Barely see him. Oh, he's gonna do it. I gotta take the headphone off so I can hear it just in case. There's something over there. Hold on. Come on, Zoop. There's something over there. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel like pulling out night vision to see it. But something was growling over there at him while he was doing his business. Oh, let's get you some asparagus. There you go, buddy. Good boy. It's his favorite treat.
Really?
Yeah, he loves asparagus over everything else. Yeah, that's a good boy. This is content right here. Watching him figure out how to eat his asparagus. Also, look at the size of this thing. That's like nuclear power plant asparagus.
Yeah, man, that's GMO stuff.
Oh yeah. All right. Back and we are. Oh, I have a. I'm used to bugs at this point. The monsters that are on this mountain are insane. I don't know if I even. I don't remember if I got rid of it or not. I was outside with the dog, and around one of my lights, I saw a massive bee, and I put a cup around it with a piece of paper, and I put it in the freezer, and I don't remember if I saved it or not, or if I threw it away already. I
That's
threw it
dark,
away.
man. This thing slowly freezes to death.
That's the most humane way to do it.
It's the most mean way to do it.
Humane.
Humane. It is.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that.
It
The
just gets
most
shut
humane way
down.
is to put it outside.
It's not supposed to be here. No pun intended. Let
Oh,
me
it's like a
invasive species.
invasive, yeah.
Let me send you a picture of this monster.
Okay, so you're seeing an invasive species, and you know the most humane way to kill it is to put it in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're clearly living in the year 2030. I've like never once thought about this, so that's great.
It's okay. I'll send you this photo now. I wish there was like a way we could show it in the video itself.
I mean, it's important.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ready for this?
Want me to go downstairs and hit the drum roll? Yeah.
That is massive, man.
Yeah, that thing's huge. And the red mask and the red oh my god. Not abdomen. Thorax.
You caught this thing?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I caught it up against the house in a glass cup, and then I slid a birthday card underneath it and put it in the freezer like that, so I could take a
Oh,
picture of it. And
well, it's also because yeah, I'm sure it's the most humane way. But it's also the coolest way. You know, I have a frozen bug. It's huge in the freezer.
right, right. I didn't want to crush it, you know. I wanted to preserve it so I could know, like, kind of Google it and see why it's here and why it's 45 degrees outside and it's still alive. Because if that's around here, because I found a smaller one, like half the size of that, with the red mask and red thorax, when my buddy Aaron was over here, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, and we were just having some whiskey on the porch, and we saw that thing, and I was like, that shouldn't be here. That's a smaller version of an invasive species of hornet. And then 2 months later, I find a massive one.
Wow. Yeah.
So I let my landlord know, and I was like, I'll keep an eye out if I see more of them. Like, we have a hive somewhere that we need to get rid of because it was just hanging around my house. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that thing, like, if that stung me, oh, no thanks. I think it's massive. It's the size of my damn thumb.
Dude, I haven't got stung by a bee in like 20 years. And me and my wife used to go for walks in the summer, like after the kids go to bed. We just walk
Mm-hmm.
around like the block around our house. I got stung twice in the exact same spot, like like the exact same leg at the exact same part of our walk. This like these kamikaze wasps, like I don't know, man. There's definitely a nest right there, and I just can't believe it happened once, and then I was like all sad about it. My leg blew up and it was like the size of my head, my
Yep.
calf, and then like 2 weeks passed and then it literally happened in the exact same spot. I
So
was
you have a little bit more
so
sensitive allergy to it.
yeah, yeah, more than I thought. Because I have like the fish allergy and
Hmm.
um, I don't know what else I'm allergic to, but Lo is allergic to fish too, just like me, and also pears, which is like one of the most random ones ever. And it's really hard to like keep her away from pears because they're just in random things. Like,
Hmm.
like you never go like, is there pears in the salad? Like, I don't know,
Right.
like stupid. So hopefully she grows out of that one. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Funny that you mentioned that. At Panera Bread, the Fuji apple chicken salad had pears in
Right?
it.
Yeah, it's an apple chicken salad. Why does it have pears in it? Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
but but yeah, like I don't know. I just getting stung is awful. I told you. I think the last time we talked about Zupi getting stung, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because I was chopping down the tree, and then he
Mm,
got stung like several times. Yeah, he's still got little tiny little on his paws from it, like little
yeah,
raised area. It's still there, and it's been forever. But
yeah.
but yeah, he he got stung several times. I didn't know what was going on, and then I finally saw the bee, and he ate it. Luckily, he didn't get stung in the mouth, but yeah, like that thing that got him a couple times. Got him a couple times, and then
You must have chewed it, right? Like, because it would probably sting you inside your stomach, right? Or in your
he
throat. I
had to
mean,
have. He had to
like,
have
why
got
wouldn't
it
it?
perfectly, otherwise, yeah,
Yeah,
it would just sting everything all the way down. I would assume.
yeah. That'd be pretty terrible.
I also don't know if they have like if they're like a rattlesnake where they just like run out of venom if they like release that much of it or how much they carry at one time. So
Oh, he got stung and then he ate it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I could see it. Because they can also get stuck in you, like the actual stinger part. And
yeah. Like the
so,
barbs, usually that's what happens. You usually get stuck and then pulled out. But like, so
yeah,
there's some species that can like sting you multiple times over and over again, no problem. So
yeah.
that's why like they say like baby rattlesnakes are like the most dangerous of rattlesnakes because or any venomous snake that's a baby because they don't know how to the adults will gauge like a certain amount of venom per bite to maintain it and to be able to continuously do it whereas babies don't know that yet so they just let it all go and it's more venom in your system and you're more likely to die from being bit by a adolescent or baby snake than a full grown.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Nature be crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's crazy how much nature we try to not encounter. Like,
right. There's a lot of it, except for the people in Australia. They
I
just
do
seem
I
to
do a
love it.
walk around my house and I'm like, God, these bees, come on. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
20 minutes I'm outside a day, like I'm frustrated by the nature in my neighborhood. Yeah.
yeah. I always I got a little bit of different nature out here with that. Like
Yeah.
the yeah the bugs out here are massive. Like I get at literally once a week I have to clean my walls because I just walk by and just smack a bug on the wall or something like that. Like you can I mean there's a fly on the windows right there. So I'll clean that this weekend when I get home. But yeah, like it just like here I when I let the dog out at night, I got to worry about coyotes, I got to worry about bear, got to worry about bobcats. Like it's just I gotta be alert for him because he's a dog, he's an idiot, he's gonna be like oh something to play with, even though they're bred for hunting bear and boars, but he's
Yeah.
Zoopy. Everything is his friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's uh everything's looking good in life right now. It feels like it's starting to turn around in work. We had a couple days with the interest rates going down a little bit, so I'm hopeful. But elections always influence that. When the term's ending, everybody wants to make it look good. So regardless of who's the president, things will get better in the last year of a presidency, just because they have to in order to save
It's true.
face.
It's true.
So
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of that for sure.
I mean,
Mm.
everybody over the last 16 years has been handed a shit sandwich when they get into the presidency, anyways. So it's like, what really matters anymore. There's
It's a
always
hard
going to be
job.
something.
It's a
Yeah.
hard
Oh my
job.
gosh.
I don't know how I don't know how anyone does it. It's I don't know. You need
Ages you
to
15 years and 4.
yeah.
Like,
Well, you just need to delegate really really well, and I'm sure it's hard because when things go wrong, it's still your fault, even if you delegated it. But yeah,
yeah, like to play devil's advocate though, like I feel like most of the time the president is just the face of everything that's behind it. Like they don't really they obviously they have situations where they have to make, ultimate decisions on stuff, but they're never just like, what do we do? It's all on you. They got everybody in their ears telling them to do this and that and this and that and this and that. So
well, okay. So my first question was going to be like, do you think CEOs have hard jobs? But my I guess my better question is, doesn't that make it harder? That there's a million people all trying to sway your opinion, that you have to like figure out who's right in that situation? Like,
yes and no.
I obviously you have the brightest people, but they're not telling you how to do the job better. Like they
They're
don't know.
trying to though,
Of
because every
course
one
they
of
are.
those
That's their
people has a
job.
greater
But
goal.
also they can be bad at their job, you know?
True, true, and that's people usually
That's
get
on
fired when they're pretty bad at their job though.
right. That's on you to hire them then. So I have this thing where it's like, so Mark Zuckerberg, despite running Facebook and everything, also is like learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and he like won competitions and like he can do all these crazy challenges because he's jacked and everything. And and I brought this up to a couple different groups and because I'm just interested in it because it's like, how does he do it? Like, how did he do all of these things? And they go, let's say the average person goes, well, he's got so much help. He's got these billions of dollars. I'm sure he has nannies and whatever and all these things. And if I didn't have to go grocery shopping, I would be jacked too. I'm like, cool. I doubt that. But um, I guess my point is, I think it's harder actually because you have unlimited power. He can DoorDash every night for the rest of his life.
Hmm.
He can buy entire McDonald's every night for the rest of his life. Like his amount of his problems is dictated by him solely. He has no problems unless he's choosing to have them. And he like the idea that he's more jacked than me is a joke, right? Because like what problems do I have? Like what responsibilities do I have compared to that? And he still finds time to raise two kids, do all that, and still work out every day. And so I don't know. I think it's harder than easier. I understand the nanny argument. That's not the argument though. It's like he could also be on boats whenever he feels like it. He can fly to the moon if he feels like it. Like it's like the idea that he is showing up for work on Monday and is the first one there is insane, right? Like when you really think about like what he could be doing with that time. Like if you won the lottery, what would the first thing you wouldn't go to work every day? Like that's yeah, like you wouldn't risk your entire life every day for no reason. Like I don't know. So I guess that's my
But
rant. But yeah, go
here's the thing. Yes, he's got an
ahead.
infinite amount of wealth right now, but the moment he stops all of that, like he loses stock option, he loses everything. So he doesn't have a choice but to continue, I guess, in that situation. If I won the lottery, it's not a business that I built from the ground up that I need to maintain. That's my baby. That's just I bought a ticket and I won the lottery.
Well, that's kind
That's
of
a
my point.
different.
Is it's I fundamentally think that people who win the lottery end up losing it because they never earned it. Not because they
Nobody
didn't.
deserved it. Exactly.
It's like a deserving, but it's like a they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle it. Like they think of it as unlimitedness, but they don't think of it as a new job that they just acquired. Because
No.
billionaires do though. It is a job to acquire more wealth, and it's hard, and they work really hard to do so. It's not a joke to them. And so, like, yeah, he could probably sell all of his stock and still have at least $25 billion, which is still an insane amount of money and he wouldn't be able to blow through if he tried.
Look at
But
Tom from MySpace. He sold for $480 million, and now all he does is travel the world and take pictures.
and that's a lot of people's goal, but that's my point is like it's not his it's not Zuckerberg's goal. His Zuckerberg's goal is to unite the universe in using Facebook. Wait, and he will die. And Elon Musk wants to die on Mars. It's like crazy. I'm in awe of people that can sustain that level of discipline for years when the goal is so untangible and so all over the place. And they can do that in every moment of their daily lives for years, for 10, 20, 30 years of
But your average
discipline.
person can't do that. These are
That's my
superhuman
point.
people that have
That's my
higher than
point.
average IQs that can maintain a level of brain activity that most cannot.
That's my point. My
So
point
does
was
that make it harder, or does it just like that's just their everyday?
my question is, do you think they deserve to be billionaires and we don't, based off that?
I mean, why do I care though?
I'm in awe of it. I think it's interesting. I think it's
It
like
is very
sociology. I
interesting, but
can't
like I
believe that
don't sit
those
there and
humans exist.
resent them that because they're billionaires and I can't do that.
I think most people resent them, but I think it's more like I want to be more like them. I don't know what that means, but I think that they're interesting and therefore inspiring people because of that. I
Absolutely.
know they have a lot of flaws and everything, but like I've never been able like so if you have a problem, what do? You go find a coach for that problem, a person that has done that better than you ever will or something, some version of that. And I feel like my problem is quitting at everything and not creating consistent days of work for years. And that's what's holding me back from my next hierarchy of needs
Hmm.
level. And so I'm looking for coaches, but they don't really exist that I can find in real life. So the billionaires have been my coaches, not because I want to be a billionaire, not because I think that they're great people, but I'm just so inspired by their discipline, and
Yeah.
their everyday routines are just so off the charts. It's not that they do more in a day than me, but they have that day every single day for 10 years straight. And I only have it for a day or two or a month, and then I
Hmm.
quit. I'll start a new project, and I never actually grow past the point of an average person or a good person. I never become an expert to the point where it's valuable in anything,
Hmm.
And I think I need to put 10 years of every day into something to be that expert and then therefore be super duper valuable. But these people do it, and they usually do it in their 20s and 18s, like when the world is just
Yeah.
chaotic and they have no like sense of like long-term thinking and being an adult and being an old person in the future. Like it's insane. I couldn't plan a week ahead of my life when I was 18, let alone years and years and years. So all I'm saying is I just find it so interesting that those humans exist. And I just want to be like them, but I don't really know what that means other than like it's the first time in my life that I feel like I have a real mentor, like a real goal. So I've had a very hard time finding like role models in my life,
Hmm.
because I feel like at some level I don't respect a lot of people, you know? Like
Yeah.
I don't think that they're better than me. So but
I'm
I
the
do
same
respect
way.
billionaires.
I'm the same way. I mean, I've become kind of a cynic, I guess, in terms of my view on humanity over the last, decade, just because of everything that I've gone through. And I despise most people and like their thought process. And I have a select few people that I can connect and relate with and have a conversation like this with, where everybody else that I talk to, once you start sharing your own personal opinions, if they don't agree with it, they don't sit there and ask questions why. They just immediately shut down and just like, oh well, I can't talk
Yeah.
to a person that has a different value than me on this, and
Yeah.
that's it. And like, I am all for having conversation, but like there's just so many people now that like it's almost like a catch 22 situation. Like I almost despise the person that I am because I despise most other people.
So in my therapy, this is what I do in these situations. I make rules, and I'm going into therapy in this part of like if this is a good idea or not. But so far, it's been a good idea for the last 10 years. The rules, and my rule lately for like the last year or so has been m- meet the person on the level of connection that they want to be met at. Like if they only want to be talking about the weather, I'm talking about the weather with you. If you want to go deeper and you give me some indication you want to go deeper, let's go way deeper. Up to you. But I spent so many years of my life trying to create a connection level different than what the other person at the table was for me. And it creates a disconnect and a problem. And then I got labeled as Brian only wants to talk about deep things. He's a bummer at parties. And it's like that's who I am. That's like, and I have to turn that part off of myself on the average day to like have all the weather people stick on the weather and not me like ask if they're like divorce is and the rain have any like thing to do with each other, because that's
Right.
just like who I am deep down, is like I want to know about people. But I don't know if that like makes any sense, but
No,
that's
that's
been a
that's the
rule
battle I
that's really
struggle
guided
with.
me. Yeah.
Because like I love to be unapologetically myself.
Yeah.
And I'm a very argumentative person. I'm a very devil's
Mhm.
advocate person, but I'm also a genuinely good human, I think, in my own opinion. Like I help people out when I can. I try and be as nice as possible to people, but there's just some people that there's nothing I have for them in conversation, and everything just becomes an argument with no point. And it's just a constant battle, and then I sit there, I'm like, why am I even talking to this person? Why do I even bother? Like, just they
Yeah.
have zero significance in my life other than a passing acquaintance that I just so happen to unfortunately stumble on a conversation with that didn't turn out productive in any way, shape, or form. And
Yeah.
so like it's like I'm jaded and I just don't like talking to
Yeah.
people in general, but unless they're people I'm already, very familiar with and I know them on a very personal level. So like,
Yeah. I really tried for a long time to like not put negativity into the world. So if they want to be met on the level of connection that is wherever it is, like I'm gonna leave this interaction positively, because what else is there? Like what's the point, really?
mhm,
Like, is it really to win? Is it really like
right.
studies show I'm not convincing you of anything if I win this. You're digging deeper if you win it. So, or if I win it. So like it's like what's the point of this? And I finally learned after years that like when I'm um feeling sad, a lot of my life, I didn't want to be like my parents and didn't want to be like my mom specifically. And so I label her as a fake person. And so
Mhm.
I would specifically not be positive to anybody if I was in a bad mood. And that was like my thing. I was like, I'm not gonna be fake to anybody. I'm gonna be who I am at all times. Well, like that's how I'm gonna counter argument this mom complex. And it was fine. But my therapist finally let me realize that when I'm negative, it actually makes you negative, the person I'm talking to. Like you have a worse day if I'm having a bad day, because it trickles off, and then you judge something else, and we're only talking about negative things, and now you're in a negative mood and everything. And once I realized I was affecting people's their day negatively by just being myself, that broke my brain for a couple of years, because it's like, what do I do then? Because one, I'm
Right.
true to myself, and I'm hurting you, or I'm improving your day, but I'm not true to myself and my goal as a teenager, which was to like not be my mom. And
And you suppress your true like what you want to say, and then how do you keep that in?
I
How
think
do you
it's I think it's 90% no meeting the person on that level of connection they want to be met at, and 10% choosing your words a little carefully so that you're not creating a negative environment out of a neutral environment in your conversation. But like I'll never say like I'll never like attack you, but I'll say that's interesting. And that's me pointing out the fact that I probably disagree with you, but in a neutral way where you can decide to take the bait and we'll go deeper into why that's interesting, or you can just move on with your opinion,
Yeah.
and we're moving on. And so like I'm meeting you at the level of like whatever, I think to like not, and I think it's partly like I'm still like too anti-conflict. I need to like work on that. But um I don't know. That's been my solution to like try to find this like thread between like past me and future me, like what I
Yeah.
want, like what both people want.
But
So,
there's
but
such
it's hard.
conflicting like ideologies in that sense though, like because there's the group of people that's going to be like, well, just keep your circle small, just keep your circle small and have the select few people, and then don't branch out at all, and just you have your circle and that's it, and that's all you need. But then like that hinders you from conversations that could expand your thought process and teach you something different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the way that the world is right now, almost all like interactions with people like gets broken down to politics. And like once you start like talking about politics at any point and like you start going into this bipartisan kind of like conversation, then people shut down. Like people right now, like, oh, you're a Democrat, oh, I'm a Republican, I can't talk to you, kind of thing. Like
Mhm.
that happens all too often now, and it's so stupid the way
Yeah.
that is. Like you can't have a regular human interaction without somebody trying to figure out, what do you believe, and if we don't believe in the same thing, I can't talk to you. Like that's like the world that we're in right now. Like,
No, I think I mean the internet I think is part of the problem because you can look up anything
oh
at
yeah.
any time and someone's right and someone's wrong at all points. Someone's opinion's wrong and we can find out pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely had the opinion of when I was dating people, I was like, I need to find somebody that I can be 100% honest and we're on the same page about everything. And I really sought out that person. And I think Carol and I are very on the same page about stuff, but I definitely, as marriage has gone on, and kids and stuff, like things happen in your life that like you would never ever plan on wanting to talk about ahead of time. Like one of ours was like, if we did have a baby with disabilities, like what the plan is with that, like knowing ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
and that would break us. And we could be happily married the rest of my life if that doesn't happen, but that might break us if it does happen. And so it's
Right.
just sheer odds if we're going to be divorced over that. I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but it's a fundamental
Right.
difference. But I've learned that like I will never, I never need to talk to everybody about everything because it's not actually helpful.
Right.
Because it's
Right.
not actually good. It's not actually better that we flush out every single opinion we all have. Like,
But then how
it's
do you
better to roll
gauge
your
that if you're
eyes.
trying to meet somebody? How do like with what you're describing as like, let them have the level of engagement that they want? Do you just wait until you find somebody that continuously takes the bait? Like, because with certain people, like sometimes you do have to push the envelope to get somebody out of their comfort zone and open up. And what if you continuously just stay reserved and try to avoid conflict, and then you never get past any certain stage?
Yeah, you put little breadcrumbs out there. I think people jump in when they want to talk. Like so one of my breadcrumbs was, you know, that awkward question I had, which was like, I know this sounds kind of weird, but like the whole 6-year trend thing, like, and in my, I effectively am saying like, do you want to talk more about that? And if you say like, no, man, it's all good, like I'm still working on it, like, okay, he doesn't want to talk more about that, but I'm giving you the bait of like, I'm letting, I'm throwing a line out saying, do you want to go deeper into this? And that's kind of how I throw a very like neutral comment out there. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but like this is kind of how I've found my way of navigating relationships without
Hmm.
pushing them into a zone that either party doesn't want to be in, I guess. Because I that was just such my problem. I'd be at a party, we'd be drinking, and I'd be like, "Tell me about your ex-girlfriend." Like I wouldn't say that, but like I would be trying to help people, but in a really destructive way,
Hmm.
without them asking for help, without them wanting my help, without anything. I just thought I could fix everything all the
Well,
time.
that's the beauty of alcohol.
Right. I mean, I've never once had a bad idea. No, so yeah, so this was kind of my rule to avoid that bad habit, which is I push when I should be asking for permission, I guess, to like talk about that. And you also kind of weed out people that just never want to talk about those kind of things. They're my
But
friends. Like
you
that's,
came to this conclusion after you had already met Carol and got married, though, right?
yeah, well, dating is dating. I mean, like you're always gonna like want to like push when the other person's not ready, or put both want to push at the same time to
That's
like,
that's what
you
I'm
know.
saying. Like this kind of thought process and way to navigate is 100% effective on your everyday encounters with friends and things like that, and developing new friends, or just this person remains an acquaintance. But in terms of
I
trying to, like, if
disagree.
you're actively looking for somebody, I feel like you miss out on much more opportunity by not pushing the envelope.
I think I think this is the solution to relationships actually. Um, there is every night I come down from putting one of the kids to bed and I sit on the couch. I say, Carol, do you want to talk about anything? Do you want to do anything? Do you want to hang out? Do you have energy? and it's a yes or a no. And I used to be mad when I had energy to hang out and talk or want to like do something with her and she wasn't there, or vice versa. It's a frustrating thing because you're just never on the same page every night. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about like, going deeper into talking to each other about your emotions and feelings, but like fundamentally, that is, I would say, the precursor to the everyday, which is, what do you want to do? What do you want for dinner? Like, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to work on? And I think it's really hard to find that balance of like what I want, what she wants, what's available, and not blaming somebody when it's not the same because it's every day it's not the same.
Well,
And
of
so
course,
I,
nobody's going to be on the same page and frequency every single day, but at the same time, this is again a already established relationship. I'm talking about to meet somebody to
yeah,
get to this point. I don't think you can just lay out a couple breadcrumbs and hope somebody takes it. Like if you are truly infatuated with somebody and you want to pursue them in a relationship, obviously you want them to reciprocate it, and it doesn't you don't want to force anything, but like I'm saying in general, like if you don't take a risk in the conversation, you run the risk of not having any wow factor or having anything that stands out that makes you you, that says, that's really cool or that's different. And I kind of want to explore that. They seem interesting. If you just stay neutral the whole time, like that gives you very little basis for an attraction to develop,
I
I feel like.
disagree. I disagree. I think you're right. I just think I believe that if you put the breadcrumbs out, if they like you, they'll grab them. That
Yeah,
that it
but that's what I'm saying. Like that's just hoping that they just like you. They just like that's it. They just this person just likes you just from general conversation. But like if you and I had a casual conversation and just about the weather and everything like that, and we both reciprocated the same energy, you don't progress.
I progress with the people that progress with me. I mean, I might
But who
meet you on the street.
initiates?
I I try to initiate and we go from there, And so I have a person that I met at Ramel's bachelor party.
Hmm.
And we hit it off and we were goofing around all weekend and then um we kind of stopped talking, and I sent out a text because I got his number and I was like, I said whatever, brought up a joke we've already had, and I respect this person and I would like to be friends with them.
Hmm.
Um and then we saw each other at the wedding and he was very like, we need to be friends. This is awesome. Like I believe in this as adult friendships go. This is a good one. And and then after the wedding, I texted him and I was like, "Hey, whatever. I joked about something we talked about." And he, responds whatever. And I feel like at that point, it ball's in his court, And I feel like this is one of those hierarchy of need things. Like, I don't need more friends, Like, I respect this person and I would like to be friends with them. But if they're too busy or whatever, like, I'm not, there's nothing wrong with me, Like, that's been the hard part for me is like not putting myself in the middle of this. Like, if they don't either A, don't see value in me, or B, just are too busy or don't like it just doesn't fit with their lifestyle right now, why is
But
that someone's fault? Like that's fine. I don't,
it doesn't have to
it's
be someone's fault per
that's my
se.
point. Like pushing harder is, I feel like, making it someone's fault, you know?
But this is again talking about just a platonic friendship. This isn't talking about like
Yeah.
developing a
You want to talk
romantic
about
relationship.
girlfriends
I'm
and
talking
stuff.
about specifically
Yeah.
romantic relationship. Like
Somebody's gonna
you,
say I love you first. We agree on that? That's a
yeah,
good one,
absolutely.
right? Right? That's a good one. Yeah. Um, and that other person doesn't have to respond, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna break up the next morning. Like it just means that they're gonna that someone put out the breadcrumbs and maybe someone's gonna go get them in a month or a year, but it's being honest about how you feel,
Yeah.
but not putting the person in an uncomfortable way doing so. I mean, I think there's a way to say I love you
Well, I'm
without
not saying putting them in an uncomfortable position or anything like that. I'm just saying like you can't just lay out if you're looking for somebody, you can't just lay out neutral breadcrumbs and hope somebody takes it. Like I feel like you have to take a risk with conversation, with action. Somebody has to make the more romantic gesture first in order to say, yes, I'm interested in you in a romantic way. You can't just Yeah, we're just, we're hanging out. We're hanging
You
out. We're
mean
hanging
like
out. I guess
I
this
think
kind of works, so we should probably develop a relationship. You don't have those conversations like
no, one of
that.
the hardest relationships to convert is a friendship into like a deep a romantic relationship. I fundamentally think that is one of the hardest things to do because you have to
Absolutely.
be so, I would argue that you have to be so neutral that even if this person rejects you to your face, that you still need to treat them the same way that you would have treated them if you never tried.
Never had the
And
conversation. Yep.
and that's so hard because you, like I said, like the whole point is to not feel like it's someone's fault in this.
Hmm.
And I don't know if there's a way to leave that conversation feeling like no one's at fault here, or someone, whatever, someone is better or worse than somebody. Like, 'cause it's so it's so you wrap yourself into it, your whole like ego into it. Um, but I think if I was doing that, and I kind of did this with Carol a little bit, I'd be like, I like you. I would like to go on more dates with you, and let me know if that's something you're interested in. And it's kind of deadpan, but it's also like what game are we playing right now? I don't want to play it anymore. Like I'm
Yeah.
not crazy, but I could go play games with people, and I'm not here to do that.
Right.
And if you're here to do that, please go play game. I'm not mad about that. That's it's I'm whatever. At the time I was like 27. I was like, I'm just not here for games anymore. So I do
Yeah.
respect the crap out of you, and we'll see what happens. But I like you, so I don't know, why is it so hard to do that? Because if they don't like you, it's like I said, it's no one's fault.
Well, I dealt with that with a female coworker actually. Like
Let's
we started talking one day just because I transferred a chat. I transferred a chat to her, and I was like in the chat, like she could see what I said. I said, she's a fantastic human and genuinely just very good at her job. She's been doing this for a while. You're in the best hands possible. She was like, oh my God, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said, blah, blah, blah. And she got infatuated with me pretty quick. And,
great.
it got a little out of control. And I was like, listen, like I told you from the start, like I'm not looking for anything. I'm just doing what I need to do to get by and accomplish my goals and all this stuff. And she was just like, I'm gonna marry you. I don't care. I'm gonna marry you. Blah 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 blah.
Like
Like,
she said that?
yeah,
Well, that's not a breadcrumb. But
exactly, exactly. But that level of intensity, like, was like, wow, like if I were to jump into this relationship, this person would worship me.
Right. That's a choice you have to make if that's what you want to do, short term and long term.
Right.
And it's
And I'm
hard,
not saying
right?
like that would have been a healthy relationship or anything like that, but I'm saying like I wouldn't have even thought to consider it had it just been like I think you're kind of cool and I would like to, see where things go. I've
I would argue
that's
that
bland to me.
you didn't want to be in that relationship, and her coming on too strong made it a possibly toxic relationship.
Possibly could have
I
been the
don't
best
know.
relationship of my life. You don't know. That's
I'm
where
gonna marry
if you
her.
play it too safe, you never take a risk. You never get successful. You didn't get to where you are by playing it safe. You got to it
Well,
by changing jobs nonstop,
I
finding
kind of
something different every single day, taking huge risks every single day.
I took risks.
Yeah,
Okay.
with changing jobs constantly, like that's
Well,
tough. That's tough
I mean,
mentally.
I don't know if I think I choose to change jobs all the time, but I don't know.
You
I
were never
mean,
happy with what you were doing ever.
I'm
You had
still
the
not happy.
mindset at the beginning, everybody's going to hate everything they do. Nobody's ever going to love their job. Those were your words
Well,
verbatim.
I still believe that actually. But
I
I found a
quoted you
job.
today to my sister and she ripped me
What?
apart for it.
All right, I have to pee. Do you want to wait for 1 second?
Yeah,
I can't hold this any longer.
you're fine,
Oh.
dude. I'm going to pour another cup of coffee. And that's the end of the pot. I'm actually going to shut my camera off for a second. Come on now. There we go.
was a long one, man.
Oh yeah.
You quoted me to your sister today.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that.
with what I just said. I said, like
That you're gonna hate your job no matter what.
I didn't. I said like most people can't stand their jobs. Nobody's sitting there like I asked her. I told her like if your place of employment told you today we're going to continue to pay you exactly what you're making right now, but you don't have to do anything at all. We're just going to pay you like this the rest of your life. You would say absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to go do whatever I want every single day and still
Yep.
get this money.
Yep.
There are very few people that are like, no, I love my job. I want to continue to do my job. I want to continue to work for a living. There are very few people that would say that. And she's like, no, I would be bored. I love what I do. I do this and this and this. I'm like,
Good for
you say that,
her.
but the reason we work is to live and to be able to accomplish other goals.
I think that is true for a lot of people, or most people, or 80, 90% of people. But I have met people that would win the lottery and go to work the next day and never and
Yeah,
think nothing of it. So
absolutely. Absolutely. But like what I'm saying here is most people like me, myself, I came to the conclusion that I'm never going to find a job that I'm passionate about because I don't like to work hard. Like I work hard because I need to and I have the drive to do it. But like if my job told me I'm going to pay you $100,000 a year and you don't have to do anything, I would every day be getting in the best shape of my life. I would be spending time traveling. I would be spending time hunting and going around everywhere, learning as much as possible because I would be afforded that freedom.
but do you I mean, do you believe though that you would eventually, usually pretty quickly, take it for granted? I feel like that's our human nature is like I wouldn't give it more than 2 or 3 years before you're complaining that you want to see all these places but can't make it there in time or whatever the hell. Like some version of the basic income is met, so I'm pushing towards the next level of needs,
It would give me
and
the ability to do what I want. It would give me if I wanted to work, then I could, but I didn't
yeah,
have to.
my point is
Everybody
your
needs
wants
to
would
work to make an
change.
income.
Yeah, but then you would create new wants.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily require more finance.
Yeah, but you might not be able to achieve them, and then therefore the finance isn't as important to your new want. You kind of don't worry about that want anymore, and you create the new want that's overwhelming and specific and needs to be accomplished, or else I'm not good enough, kind of thing.
That
Yeah.
depends on your mindset entirely though. Like that's person to person. That's
I feel like that's inevitable human nature, honestly. I just feel like we come out of mother's womb and we can't sit still. We gotta learn how to crawl, we learn how to walk, and we
well,
can't.
then why is there so
Nothing's
much mediocrity that never changes? Why are there so many crappy people around that just coast by and never look for further success?
well. I guess I would say Um, I think everyone's looking for success in their own way, and they might not realize how bad they are at it when they're doing it. And not that I'm good at it, but I think it's not something that we have good mentors in, first of all. But I think also, um, uh, I I think everyone's living more day to day than you think they are, and then therefore, I think the people that are really big successes are the people I'm talking about, people that can think 10 years ahead of time and live every day like that. The people that can't are usually people that are living paycheck to paycheck because their success is keeping up with their neighbor who's bought a $10,000 bed or whatever. Like success for them is different than success for other people because, like I said, I think it's more of like their hierarchy of needs success is pretty low, and that's fine. Like nothing's wrong with that if that's what their decision is. But
Right, but my point isn't to the specific, select few that are driven to be successful constantly, even though that may be human nature to continue to be successful or to improve yourself in this time period right now. I mean, what happened in COVID was a testament to that. So many people that could have worked but wanted to collect, like I had a friend that wanted to collect unemployment instead of work. And so many people, if they were given the money every single day and to not have to work, would never work because everybody's genuinely lazy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think we all don't want to work,
Right.
or 90% of people don't want to work.
And I'm not saying that you can't have days that you enjoy your job. I have days that I love my job. I have days that I want to quit my job. Everybody has that. What I'm saying is the majority of people, if given the opportunity, would not do it, would not work. And that brought me to the conclusion of it's okay for me to never find something that I'm passionate about in terms of income.
Oh, okay. This was your rule. This was your way of justifying that fact.
The
Is you were
the
the
fact
you
that
were
I've never found something that this is what I want
the
to do the rest of my life. This is what I
Mhm.
can do the rest of my life, but I can do everything else. My whole point, like full circle of everything that I've been talking about, is like the way that I've improved my life, not only with my health and my mental health and everything, but financially as well, is I've dwindled my bills down so much to where if I, like I said, if I needed to work at McDonald's, I could, and I could still do everything that I want to do in my
Yeah,
life.
you bought your freedom. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So like that's where I'm at right now, and I don't need anything more. So like if you were to tell me right now you're gonna pay me 100 grand a year or more to just be and exist and do what I want every single day, I'm taking that 100%, and I'm gonna get the best at everything that I possibly can.
Have you given that more thought about it's so I think I'm not sure. I think I've discovered what I want to do every day the rest of my life. Um, but I've also changed my mind a lot throughout my life. So I'm
Hmm.
only a couple months into this one, but we'll see. But have you have you given thought to that it's possible that could be something, and like and there might be a way to head towards it, versus I don't know, not knowing what to head towards, Like, has that ever crossed your mind? Is that something that like interests you, or is it more like that's imaginary? I've lived this life for 33 years. Like, I know that that's not going to happen spontaneously.
I'm not sure I
Like,
follow the question. In what context? What do you mean?
do you see value in doing exercises to try to figure out if there is something you want to do every day, or do you already eliminate the idea that that exists?
I mean, I'm not closed-minded in terms of like I can get new interests. I'm not saying my interests are what I have now and that's it, but in terms of financially supporting my life goals, the things that I'm interested in right now would never financially hinder me the further I progress in them.
Yeah.
It would only become easier. Like in terms of hunting, like the more I get into hunting, the more I'm going to need to save money on ammunition. So then at that point, I'm going to start reloading my own ammunition, saving my brass. That's a new craft that I learned. Yes, it does cost money to reload, but it's also like 35 to 50% cheaper than purchasing ammunition. That could branch me into other things. Maybe I want to start rebuilding my gun. Maybe I learn how to do some sort of smithing and welding and creating my own type of rifle or something like that. I can do a whole bunch of different things. I want to build a blind. I start learning carpentry. Like
Mhm.
I have interests in things that give me the ability to branch off from those interests where it all compounds. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of in a sweet spot. Like I'm very passionate about hunting, and that may not be where it stops. Maybe I go and travel somewhere for hunting and I learn a new culture, learn a new way, learn something fun, meet somebody that teaches me something new, and I become passionate about that. I'm very open to that. I'm not saying like I would never do anything like that, but in terms of employment and gaining income, I don't give a shit what I do as long as I make enough money to support my happiness.
Yeah.
Because money can buy happiness because it allows you to live, and living gives you the ability to be happy. If you're dead, you can't be happy. You can't feel anything. So, like, money can buy happiness to an extent. Now, you can have all the money in the world and be miserable. I'm not saying that if you have all the money in the world, you're happy. But if you have the proper mindset and you have your goals set up, there's nothing that can stop you if you know what you want. But in terms of employment, I don't care what I want there. There isn't anything that I want in employment. I want to have an unlimited amount of money to do what I want to do. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if this is weird or it doesn't help you at all, but I kind of stumbled across I have to look it up. It's I forget what it is, but it's called The Question. I forget who poses it, but it's a question. It's like a thought experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across this, I think in 2016, I think, or maybe 2014. And I think I'm closer, but it's hard. But it's like if you were given if you woke up tomorrow and you had all of the money in the world, all of the knowledge. You're the most supreme intelligent being. You could cure cancer in 1 minute. You could have you have everything. You have telepathy. You can read everyone's minds. You can literally save this world from anything you want. You can go into the past, go into the future, whatever. Like I'm not describing it well, but something like that. And what would you do all day?
I'd kill
What-
myself. I'd blow my fucking brains out all over the
Really?
universe. Absolutely. Are you
Well,
kidding me?
the answer to the question is supposed to be like what you should do every day. Like, it's hard. I think kill yourself is like not one of the options on the multiple choice. I think it's more like
Probably not. I would assume not. But if I became the all-knowing, all-supreme being, I would find a way to terminate myself because I wouldn't want to witness the nonsense that exists, knowing everything and knowing the solution and watching
Really?
everybody not come to that
You wouldn't
solution.
want to help people?
You can't help people.
Really?
What are you saying? What you're saying that like if I just was like boom, the world's fixed. There's no war. There's no nothing. There's nothing to live for at that point. Then what do? You just live in this. This eliminates the ability to succeed because
Well, that's the
everything is
point.
success.
That's the point. Is like at some level, the argument is that all we do all day is long for something else. Like our brains are created to long for the thing we don't have. And as soon as we have it, we just create a new longing emotion towards whatever else we decide. And like this is the thought experiment is supposed to take you out of that realm for a minute and say like, okay, what would I want to actually do every day if I didn't long for anything, or if I didn't long for pretty basic things, if I didn't long like, what would I do? I mean, and it's hard because it's like, what would I do all day if I didn't have that longing feeling? And I think some stimuluses get you out of that frame of mind for a little bit. Some windfalls, of money and things get you out of that mind frame for a couple days or weeks, but then the longing comes back. So it's like the theory is that like if you should find the thing you don't like you would do if you don't aren't longing for anything because that's probably easier to do every day than it is to chase your longings every day. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's
Yeah,
that's
no,
kind
that,
of
that
the
that makes sense. But like, it's almost like the mindset of like be a couch potato. Like,
that's if that's your choice. I mean, like the whole point is like usually people start there and then it might grow into something more significant. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but
but it's just like if like it's almost like the Miss America pageant or the Miss World pageant or whatever. World peace, world peace, world. If there was world peace, nobody would do anything.
Well, let's say you're a couch potato, okay? And someone knocks on your door and they need some sugar and you can just like make some sugar for them. Or they need their printer fixed and you can just fix their printer by touching it because you're Jesus. Or if they are selling gutters and you can let them go home for the day if you buy all the gutters off of them. Like at some point you're like making a real decision other than like I'm choosing to sit on the couch all day. Like you're deciding to do something for or against something,
Hmm.
And then eventually it'll spiral into like an actual decision, right? I would think. Like if you actually think about it actually every day for 6 months, you can't just sit on your couch every day for 6 months. Like what do you tip the DoorDash guy? Because that's a decision you're making as to like how you want to influence the universe with
Yeah.
all your power, with all your money. Like you could make that person never have to work a day in their life. Is that the point? Is that what you want to do all day? You know,
No. No, that's the thing. Like if you have that power to just fix everything and do everything, you become God at that point.
what do
If
you
you
want
were
to spend
God
your
for a
God time
day,
on?
what would you do? Well, God is God. So if God really exists and had all that power to fix everything, then why isn't it all fixed? Because there would be no work. there would be no point to existence because everything's peace, everything is bliss. So there's no drive to exceed because everything is already success. Everybody's all equal. There's nothing to move forward. So everything becomes stagnant and we die. I feel like that would end human civilization. There would be no need for technological advances. Because right now, the reason that we do technological advances, yes, for entertainment factor to make money, but what does the money support? It supports military technological advances that creates more advanced warfare.
Well, I mean, I would say some people are arguing that, you know, AI is going to be there pretty soon. I don't know where I'm at on that spectrum of like if it's 5 or 100 years from now, but I think that is coming in our lifetime, which is kind of insane to think about. But
The way that Elon Musk talks about it, it's pretty horrifying.
no, Sam Altman, he's the CEO of OpenAI. He came out and said he thinks 3 to 5 years, or 3.5 to 5 years, is their goal of creating an intelligence that's smarter than a human in every
In
capacity,
10
and works
years, people are going to
automatically.
be marrying them.
Oh, I totally agree that's totally going to happen, and I
Yeah.
feel weird for those kids that have a weird AI parent, but I don't know.
Yep.
But no, but I agree with you that like life is competition because like I said, I think life is longing, and but I don't fundamentally agree that like longing will cease to exist if I could prevent it. Like it's not going to happen that way. Like I can't give every human everything they could ever want at all moments of the day. It might be the DoorDash example on crazy, crazy steroids where you can get dopamine injected into your brain every 5 seconds whenever you feel like it. But like
Right.
I think at some point you're deciding what's the best way to help humanity, in some form. I don't know. It's kind of theoretical, but um, I don't know. That's the kind of thought experiment that helped me to try to like not count down the days the rest of my life, like because
Yeah.
that's not the goal either, right?
You don't want to
So
sit there every day and be like, I have to get all this stuff done before I die. Otherwise, it was pointless. Like,
the pointless argument, I've spent many a years talking to you about the word pointless, and I don't know. I don't know how I've definitely fixed it. I have a dumb reason. I don't think you're gonna like.
I have a dumb
I,
reason that I think you're going to like less.
you go ahead. No, you go first.
Because I'm alive right now and I feel things. That's why. Because I
Oh,
don't want
it's
to feel
it's
shit
the
for my entire life.
it's the when I'm dead, it doesn't nothing matters anymore argument.
Yeah, but I'm not dead now. So
Hmm.
why make it suck?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
endure all of that when it doesn't matter later? No. Like I want to be happy. I want to be happy and I want to see my friends succeed and I want to do things. I want to go explore the world and experience things because I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Like, and the only way I can not be here is if I do something extremely reckless or if I do it myself. And I have no desire to do that because I like living. I like drinking coffee. I like having a beer from time to time. I like throwing in a chew and playing video games and swearing at 12-year-olds on Call of Duty. Like, I enjoy those things. And
Brought
if
to
it
you
doesn't
by.
matter in the end, I don't care because I made some kid lose his shit and throw his controller at the wall at some point, and that was funny to me.
Yeah, yeah,
But you know, I've also changed people's lives with a simple gesture and just with doing my job I've changed people's lives and I've had people cry to me saying that I saved their life, I kept them in their home, all this stuff. Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's why I exist. Because
Oh,
it may be selfish, but I like to feel good. I like to feel good, and if helping other people does that, then I'm going to do it.
hmm?
If going outside and shooting a coyote in the face is going to make me feel better, I'm going to do it. If you know putting on skates and hip checking somebody out of nowhere in a beer league hockey game makes me feel good, I'm going to do it. So I do what I want to do and I do it for me. And that's like, that was the hardest thing for me to ever actually like come to terms with. Because
Yeah,
every goal that I ever set that was just astronomical and unobtainable was set for the purpose of impressing my parents or impressing people around me. And now look, like,
no, I to kind of add on to that, like when I, was done playing hockey in like after high school or after college because we kept playing in college. Like I had a
Mhm.
couple year lull of not playing hockey, and that was an interesting point in my life because I was like, why do I do this? Do I enjoy this? Is this good? Or is this just what I think I need to do because whatever, I was brought up this way and my dad does it and whatever. Like there was probably 2 years or 3 years, like when I was playing as an adult, as like a 27-year-old man, where I was like, I don't really like this. Like what
Right.
is the point of this? Like is this me longing for some nostalgia or something? Or like because like for whatever reason, I don't breathe very well when I'm exercising, so I get really bad headaches, and I just feel like crap the whole time, and I'm working so hard, and like I don't, and I would be so hard on myself the whole time, like I would be judging the crap out of me, and when my dad would come watch me, you know what I thought he was thinking the whole time? I thought he was thinking, this kid had all of the privileges and skating lessons and hockey camps, and this is what he turned out to be. That like,
Jesus.
right? How dark is that? Like
Yeah.
that's what I was playing hockey, seeing him in the corner, watching me, and I was like, he can't believe how crappy I am at hockey based off all the privileges I've gotten, and he didn't have. And now, thank God, I had the balls to just ask him what he's actually thinking, and it's not true at all. But like, it took me several years to like beat that idea out of my head, because it's
I
like,
had this conversation with my buddy Aaron the other day, like not in this context, but like we were talking about one of our buddies that kind of went off the deep end and everything like that, and we don't talk to him anymore because he's just it's not a healthy person to talk to. Um, and we were like, you have this perception of what everybody thinks about you, but you have absolutely no clue. Even you right now, you have a perception of what Carol thinks about you,
oh
but
yeah,
in
and I have no
reality,
idea.
there's no shot that you're even close.
No, is that crazy? Like,
It pisses me off that I can't know what people are thinking about me because it's been ingrained in my head my whole life. Because no offense to my mother, I love her dearly and she's a great human, but like, what are people going to think? What are people going to think? My
oh
entire life,
yeah, that's where you got some anxiety
people
from.
are staring. People are
Yeah.
staring.
hmm My mom would yell that too at me at the grocery store or whatever. Like, people are watching you right now. Like,
Yeah,
okay, Jesus. Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where like that. So watching, so um recording myself every day has
hmm
really helped me break through some of that. I'm not good at it yet, but when I record myself and then I watch it back objectively, like a day or a week later, I get a little like glimpse, a little like into what someone else would be thinking watching it,
hmm
and what they would be thinking about me. And ironically, that's like part of the point, which is like it's seeing you're seeing yourself honestly, but like seeing things that you thought weren't like part of who you are is part of who you are is like kind of crazy. It messes with my head.
Yeah, it's just like
Um,
when you're talking, you hear yourself. You hear it echoing in your head, you hear it echoing in your ears, and you know what you sound like. And then you listen to yourself or watch yourself in a recording, and you're like, it doesn't sound like what I say right now. Like it's a little bit
oh,
off. It's a little bit different. And then you're like, oh, this is what people see.
oh
Like,
yeah. No, it's the voice box, it's the gestures, it's the facial expressions. The thing that blew my mind the most, I mean, besides mumbling is a big problem of mine that I've had my whole life, and I keep pretending in my head that it's gone, and it's not a thing that happens to me anymore, and then I'm continuously reminded that it's a very normal thing for me to do, and that's been really frustrating. That's been really hard for me to watch, because I didn't realize I still did that. But the other one is talk
it's weird. I've never
into
noticed it.
really.
Yeah, I've never noticed that you mumbled to yourself. I mean, I've
You're
just always thought I
lying.
was deaf
There you
because I'm
go.
always like,
Yeah.
what? Huh? Like I'm like that
Well,
with
one of my
everybody
one of
though.
my arguments is like maybe I have really good friends because these are the only idiots that would put up with my stupid mumbling. They're really nice people because everyone else is just so annoyed they just wouldn't talk to me anymore. Like But anyways, the only thing I was gonna say was like last thing I'll say was like I didn't realize how incoherent my thoughts were when I was just kind of speaking openly, and I didn't realize how I don't restate the sentence. I don't really restate the argument or restate the noun. I just kind of ramble on and on until it's like not even like a coherent thought. But I think it sounds like I'm a genius. I think it sounds like it's the greatest thought that's ever been thought by anybody. Not because I think I'm smarter. It's just because I'm trying so hard at it. And by trying so hard, it's not even intelligible. Like me watching myself talk a week later, I don't even know what I was trying to say in that moment, which is like insane, right? Because like I was sober. I had a very coherent idea of what I was saying, and it came out as nothing, and no one understood me. And what is the point of talking? Is to be heard. Like I don't know. So I'm actively frustrated with myself and working on that, but I don't really know what to do other than to watch it more, which is creating anxiety for me. So it's like hard to like find that middle ground of like, improving but also not causing more problems. So I don't
Right.
know.
No, no. Like if somebody were to ask me to like talk about your mannerisms and everything like that, like mumbling wouldn't even cross my mind once. I've never
Really.
noticed it. I've
I
never
watched
noticed a
our
mumble.
I watched our episode one back, and there were probably I could probably name 10 times where I don't know what I said, and I was the one talking. Like it's not that I couldn't understand you, it's I couldn't understand me. I couldn't understand me. And and that frustrates the crap out of me because I didn't think I sounded incoherent at any point.
I think when I
But
watched through it, I was more focused on like
you're all watching yourself, right?
judging
Like
myself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not watching me. No, this is the key to marriage actually, is realizing that the other person doesn't give a crap what you look like. They're worried about what they look like the whole time. Like they don't
Right,
actually they
exactly.
don't care anything about you. Like just don't like hurt me. I don't care. Just don't be mean to me. Like I
Right.
don't it took me like 3 years to realize that my wife doesn't give a crap what I look like. Like she married me. Like she's so worried about her own everything that like she's not even thinking about me ever. Like
Right. Not in a negative way, but like
Like,
like
yeah, it's just because we're so self-absorbed. We like literally can't let anything else in.
yeah. I think that's what like part of that thinking, I took it to like a toxic level, like when I was like depressed and everything like that, and I was like, I'm never gonna get married again. I don't give a shit what I look like or anything like that. I'll just be fat the rest of my life and that's it, and that's fine. And like I let that slide for a little bit, but then I
That
was
that
like,
voice got all the power, yeah.
yeah. And then then I was like, you know what? I want to be the most shredded 40-year-old I possibly can.
I
And when
mean,
I'm in that nursing home, I'm gonna be running through that place.
when I'm on dialysis, they're gonna be asking me how I got here because I'm shredded. No,
Exactly.
no, see, but saying it as a 40-year-old is like a real goal. That's what I'm talking about. Is like you're not saying when I turn 34. You're like it's like a real thing that needs to happen for long periods of time for you to be remarkably different and like valuably
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
And I've never set a goal more than like 2 or 3 months from now in my entire life until like this year. So it's been a huge like significant thing for me, and I don't know, I've just never thought that way or said anything like that to myself even in private. Like
Hmm.
it's always get rich quick and do stupid things and never actually do anything valuable, like long-term valuable, like something
Well,
like to actually quit your job. Like you actually need a real this thing that you're actually valuable worldwide.
yeah.
But yeah.
That's literally like the thought process that we discussed in the first one was literally what got me to where I am now and to make those goals that I want to be that. I want to lose the weight. I want to maintain it for 6 months to 12 months and then get the surgery to remove whatever excess skin needs to be done. And then I want to continue to work my ass off and just get absolutely in the best shape possible and just be a force just because. Not for anybody else, just for me. Just so I can be like, yeah, sure, I can go run that marathon. Yeah, sure, I can go ahead and, chop a tree down and quarter it in 3 hours flat by hand. Like I want to be able to do things that the average person can't do, but for me. And I set mini goals every single day that I could achieve to get further towards that. And that would help me get to that next week goal. And then this is what I'm going to do. I need to keep this calorie deficit to get to this goal by next week. And then it was, okay, so you've got that down. You can easily hit your goals every week. So now let's extend it to 2 weeks and make it an even larger goal, work a little bit harder. And I just continuously do that. And like every couple of weeks, I'm adding extra weight into my backpack. I'm doing an extra exercise. I just started going back to the gym officially, and like I'm going every other day, and then I'm doing my hikes and everything. Like I just gradually continue to increase it. And then in my brain, I'm like, I want to run a half marathon. So me and my brother signed up for a half marathon. And that's how I just kept spiraling into further and further ahead goals that I knew I could obtain if I continued on the same trajectory and I continue with the same amount of discipline.
So
So
how do you combat like the over optimization problem? Because I have this problem where I do that and I do that and I do that, and then eventually I hit this point where it's like, well, in order to achieve that new crazy goal that I have, I need to be an Olympian, and I don't plan on being an Olympian. Um, so
you just
do I
created,
quit
you just said,
entirely, or do I, like that's I run into a lot where it's like I create something that's so impossibly hard to do permanently. That's what I'm trying really hard, like I said last time, is like to only choose habits that I can actually do every day.
mhm.
I don't know. I'm just wondering how you're thinking about that, because I fall into that trap like every single time, and I'm almost doing it again, right now. So I don't know. It's like I feel like it's the longing that just keeps growing.
That's what we just talked about, though, the human nature to be
Yeah. Well, how do you
continuously
fight that?
successful.
What do you do?
Accept the fact that you're going to die one day. And if you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. Do what you want to do. Do it for
Yeah, but
you. If you want it bad enough, you'll do it.
right, but wouldn't DoorDash person like say this is who I want to be? Like, is it that that person's fine too, or
They've
is
settled
there some?
for whatever they want to do, whether they view that
Well,
as
that's fine
success,
too.
mediocrity, or what.
Okay, so they,
But
they they're fine too.
what's that?
They're fine too. Like that's a valid life to live.
Everybody has to do something. Their roles have to be played by somebody at some point, whether it's 70-year-old that doesn't have a savings and can't live off the social security, or whether it's a 18-year-old trying to pay their way through college, or that's just the 18-year-old that never does it, never leaves, and never goes any further. That's just what they want. That's what they do. If that's what you want, that's what you do. If you want more, you get more. That's why when you have the ability to fix all problems, you can't fix all problems, because then there's no point to exist. There's no reason to excel. So like everybody has their role. Everybody plays their role. You can move out of your role if you want to. You have the ability to. If you want something bad enough, you can do it. But you have to want it bad enough. I never wanted I didn't want to lose weight bad enough to make a decision about it until I did. Some people never do. And some people just don't combat it. Some people lose the battle and they die from being overweight. They die from heart failure. But if you want it bad enough and you care enough about your existence to the people around you and the positive influence you have on people around you, then that should supersede your own, you know, I feel like that should supersede your own want in terms of like not wanting to be successful, I guess you could say. So like I don't know, I'm kind of losing my own train of thought here, but I never think that there's something that I can't do if I don't want it bad enough. Like obviously to a certain degree, like I can't be the president of the United States because that's just timing not possible. Like
It's because you were
I
born in
can't.
Hawaii, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't just start in politics and become the president. It won't happen. Not that I couldn't run for president. I absolutely could, but
And I have for the last four elections. You
right.
need to vote for me.
But it's just not feasible. I wouldn't have a backing enough to get there. And I would
Well,
I wouldn't even know where to start with that. But like I'm saying, like if you want to be an astronaut, like you can't just be an astronaut, but like you have to be real with yourself.
so the funny thing is, I don't know. I think I've agreed with that my whole life until I met my wife, and she's rubbing off on me, and that's kind of the problem. It's like I found my like happy medium or whatever, and then she started rubbing off on me, and it like makes me uncomfortable and longing for new things. But like my wife, was born and raised in like rural Ohio in a town of less than 2,000 people, and like her parents go to college, no one went to college, her family, like there's no reason why she's a doctor, you know? And she just like chose at like age 9, she's like, I'm gonna be a surgeon. And literally probably every major life decision after that moment of age 9 until today has been heading towards that goal. And like
Mm-hmm.
she has not made friends that did not help her towards that goal. It's not like she's a vindictive person, but like she has a goal, and her culture, her idea of what to spend time on, who to spend time with, the whole point of it is to head towards that goal. And I've never had something like that, so it never really made sense to me. But the
Well,
longer
not
we're like
everybody
together,
does. She's an anomaly. That is not a normal everyday thing. You don't, not every 9-year-old that says this is what I want to be becomes that, you know?
yeah, I mean, I'm really trying, but they're not letting me become Pikachu for whatever reason,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, give it
But
time. Give it time.
yeah, right. I caught them all, by the way. I don't know. I know we never talked about this, but back in the
That's
Pokemon
impressive.
Go days, about a year and a half ago, I caught them all. But um, no, but she's opening my brain up to that is a reality that I could choose if I chose, something. I could choose to spend every waking moment at something if I find it that valuable. And that's not a life I've ever lived, but it's interesting to me because guess what? She never is bored. She never sits on the couch and says, "What's the point?" There's a
Right.
lot of positives to it. I mean, there's a lot of pain too, obviously, but like, but I guess the thing I'm heading towards is like, I think I found it in creating startups. I think that is like my thing that I've always done on the side, but never took it seriously enough to fail at it, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I think that's what I want to spend the rest of my life doing is I really want to coach people on how to start their business, but I know I need to actually start my own businesses several times in order to gain that acumen to like
Yeah.
have people care what I think and have the experience, I guess, to actually say real things. But um, that's been my goal for like the last 5 months now, or 6 or 8 months now, and it's like a freeing experience. Is my point. It's like feeling like there is something like a purpose, or like there is
Mm-hmm.
something that's like if I spent every waking moment on this, that is a good thing, not a waste of time. Um, and it's been flowing. Things just flow. So
That's good.
every waking moment, I'm working on being better at that. And I don't see the point of doing anything else with my time, even for 5 minutes. I don't see the point. Like
Yeah.
I'm laser focused on that, and maybe I'll be good at it eventually. But the whole point is to do that every day for as long as I can do it, and then I'll be good at it.
Hell yeah. That's, I mean,
But
that's exercising in a different fashion, you know. That's a different style of getting healthy. It's increasing your brain power, and that's helping you develop as a human in general. You're going to create new experiences for yourself and learn about new markets and gain more intelligence because of it. And it's just like working a muscle. The more you work the muscle, the better you get at it. And the more
yeah,
you know, try for something, the more you're going to fail. You're going to fail more times than you succeed, but if you keep going at those things, you're going to find the success for it for sure.
yeah, and part of it's like, or most of it is like these kids are staring at me, and I know they're gonna be like me, even if we both don't want them to. If they don't want to, or
Right.
if I don't want them to, they're still gonna see me as their number one role model, or Luther is, and maybe Laurel. I look at Carol. I don't know, but like
Hmm.
gender norms. But it's like, what do I want these kids to see when they look at me? And that's kind of go back to our discussion about like what do you see when people look at me? Like, but um, and I couldn't really decide on that other than I just want them to I just want to teach them not to quit at stuff, whatever they
Hmm.
want to do. Like the only way I feel like I can do that is to not quit in front of them. And that's what like woke me up is like this is a way to live. This does make sense. And it's pretty freeing actually, because like I have less anxiety because if I have a negative interaction with somebody, I would normally like stew on it for days and weeks and I'd still think about it. But like now I just have a new rule and it's like if I'm stewing about something that happened in the past, shut up, let's work on startups. And that's why I'm unlimitedly working on them because it's a mechanism to stop me from living in the past and start living in the future, like living in the present and the future.
That's
And
awesome.
I feel like it's the perfect balance because it like wakes me
That's
up out of
huge.
my own anxieties and also benefits my children. Like it's like,
That's
like
a
I just feel like
massive
it's
epiphany, dude.
yeah, it just feels like it's what I should spend ever all my life on, And if I never succeed, great. But I don't it's not the point. The point is to just spend as much time on it every day as you possibly can
Yep.
and see what happens rather than know what happens, which is quitting. That's the only way. The only way to fail is to quit in some of these situations.
Yeah.
So
The only no, not the only way to fail is to quit. The only way to guarantee failure is to quit.
no, I disagree. I think I will succeed if I never stop trying. I don't
But you're
think there's
still
a
going to
way.
have failures along the way.
Oh, tons of failures, millions of failures, yeah, but I
That's what
won't
I'm saying. I'm
fail.
saying that you're not going to just have success no matter what. Like you're going to have points where you fail, but yes,
As
in
long as I
ultimate
keep spending as
end
much
goal,
time as
yes.
possible.
If you never stop, you will never fail.
Yeah. I don't think whatever. It doesn't yeah, I think the point is everyone who quits failed because they
Yeah,
couldn't get through the next level of this. Like every time you're feeling like quitting at something, that's where 90% of people quit. And to get to the next rung, you have to like power through it and power through it and power through it. And then you're in this crazy like little circle where everyone's like super valuable. But yeah,
that's
it's anytime you're feeling like crap, I want to quit this. Like you have to remember, like you're in a room with 100 people and 90 people are saying that. Which side are you on? Like which team are you on?
literally every day at work.
Right?
Every
Yeah,
day
I
at work right
mean,
now, we have had so many people quit. It's insane because they just can't afford how they've been living.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And I can live off my hourly wage. I'd rather have the commission and be able to, do whatever I want, but I can live off of my hourly wage. So I make that a point to make sure that no matter what I do, I work enough hours every single week to pay my bills. But I mean, like, we have dwindled down so much from the people that have quit. Like, when the market turns around, it's going to be such a massive success financially for us. If I'm still with the company at that time, I don't know if I'm going to
There
be
you
or
go.
not. I may, but if and when that does happen, we're not going to be able to even handle it with how much business is going to be coming through. If the interest rates drop down to 5.5%, 2 years, I'll easily clear 500,000 to $600,000. Like,
Yeah.
so if that time comes, I am not going to change a thing.
Yeah, man, you're being the cockroach, actually. That's how you get rich, actually, is you be the cockroach. You can't kill
Yep.
me. Yeah, I keep finding a way, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I've done it through. Okay, so I've kind of like snuck my way into where I'm at in the company in itself. I did it with being remote, and I did it with staying in the digital side of things and not going to the front end of like so and so clicked lowermybills.com and put in their phone number, and I'm calling and like, hey, we saw you wanted to lower your bills. Best way to do that is with a refinance. Click. Like, so when I don't know how much time you have left, but when COVID hit, we all went obviously work from home until further notice. And weeks and then months went by. I'm an executive banker. You're not supposed to be able to work remotely unless you're a Triple Crown banker. That requires a 5-year tenure with the company, and also specifics on your loan margins, on how like short you've taken them and discounts you've added, and your production. You have to hit 100% of your goal on average for 12 months in order to receive that Triple Crown status. And then if you have, off months and everything like that, there's a certain cushion that you have before you lose that status. So what they're supposed to have is, you don't work weekends, you can work remotely from home, you don't have to come into the office unless there's a big event or something and you live locally. So I took advantage of COVID. We were all working from home anyway, so I was just like, I'm moving to Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So I called my boss. I was like, so I'm going to be permanently remote, right? Because I'm moving to Pennsylvania, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'm not working here anymore. And he's like, oh yeah, you're remote, no problem. So I became the only executive banker in the company that was remote, and I lived in Pennsylvania because I just moved. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
ask them if I could. I just did it and said either fire me or you know make me a remote worker. And then I was uh, I was in chat at that time. I was in chat banking, and life was good. Everything was great. I was making money and everything. And then the market crashed. I ended up getting sent to regular, just standard upfront front lines banking, and it was awful. Wasn't making any money. Was struggling in every way, shape, or form. And then things went down, and I ended up going on medical leave to get control of my mental health. And when I came back, half of the team that I was on, they were still on the same team, but half of them were doing digital and half of them were doing regular banking. So they took the top tier people, put them back in digital, and then the low tier people, they put them on the regular banking side and still had the same director. So when I came back, I was like, hey, am I in chat or am I on this side? And they're like, can you log into chat? Well, I've always been able to log into chat because that's where I was before. So I was like, yeah, I can log into chat. Didn't have any of the other accessibilities. And he was like, yeah, then you're a digital banker. You're a chat banker. And I was like, all right, sweet. And so I messaged John Carl. This is before I was on his team. And I was like, hey, bud, I need you to get me these tokens. I just came back from leave. I'm in digital and they're supposed to do this and this and this. Well, then my director decided to step down, and Giancarlo messaged me. He's like, I don't think you're supposed to be in digital. And I was like, probably not, but you should do whatever you can to get me on your team. And he's like, I don't know if I have that kind of pull, but I'll see what I can do. The next day, he's like, hey, bud, you're on the roster. I got you all
Damn.
your tokens. So I literally snuck my way into every promotion of this company. I've been the cockroach.
Yeah,
I've been
man.
the cockroach, and I'm here right now, and I'm still being the cockroach. But life's a little bit easier now with everything that I've done. So if I'm there for this market flip around, I'm doing exactly what I'm doing right now, and I'm just banking all of that and investing, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not
That's
not
great.
ever going to experience what I did before, because there was literally I was too embarrassed to tell my parents and everything like that, and like ask for money in any way, shape, or form. And I literally survived off of my Metaba Greens like daily vegetable powder and like 6 bags of frozen broccoli.
Really?
Yeah, it was that bad.
Because like things were maxed out, or you just didn't want to go to
I
like the
didn't have
credit card?
credit cards or anything like that, or anything to pay with. But like I was paying everything cash and like
Thank
debit
God,
cards.
man. Right? I mean, like, who knows how far it would have went, right?
Oh yeah, like I'm so glad that I didn't have any credit cards or anything like that at that time. But like, yeah, man, I just couldn't ask for help for anybody, so I just basically starved for like a week, and then uh because there was a whole fiasco with
Where's all your money right in that? Like, where's all your money while you're starving? Like, you're getting paid, right? Like, what? Like, you're getting some form. Is it all
oh, I
going to
had
rent?
such massive bills and everything like that between my car insurance and stuff, and I was trying to pay off other debts that I had already accrued. Like it was a mess. It was a complete mess, but
Hmm.
like most of it was getting spent on stupid, things that were temporary, like food and drinks and stuff. Like it was just awful. I was spending money on marijuana and all sorts of stuff. Like it was just like I was just blowing through money, thinking that it was just going to keep coming. And then you just get in this habit. It's just like getting fat. Like keep eating crappy food, even though you know it's bad for you. You keep spending money, even though you don't have it. But you're like, well, screw it. I already can't pay a bill, so might as well not pay any of them. Like it
Right.
was just the
Which
most
is
toxic mindset
yeah.
ever, dude.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, like, but that's what happened at Ferris too, right? Like, it's like
Oh yeah,
I had 3.5, and then like, oh, I'll probably get a 3. Oh, I'll probably get like a 2.5. Oh, what's the point? Like,
exactly,
it goes from like
exactly that
2.7
mentality.
to screw it, like, like pretty quickly, right?
Yep, I blew through all of my money. I was handing out cash like $200-300 to homeless people for no reason. I was covering bar tabs, doing all sorts of stuff, and like thinking like this is it, I've made it, and it
Mhm.
just all spiraled out of control.
No,
Blew
man,
every penny that I had zero savings, nothing.
really?
Yeah.
No, you were making good money too. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. No, that's hard, man. I mean, like, I hope, I mean, hopefully you did it once. Like, you got rich once, like, and
Oh yeah.
you found your way up the hierarchy of needs, and now it's like, what would you do a second time? Assuming you can cockroach your way to
Oh,
the
it would be
5% interest rates or whatever,
completely different. It would be
right? I
completely
mean,
different. Yeah.
yeah. No, this
So
is my
I
point though. It's like rich people get rich because they keep trying, not because they're better at it than we are. There's 100 stories of people that did the same thing as us,
oh yeah,
and just kept pushing, you know.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. But yeah, like I just I like the letter that I wrote to myself. I'm better than quitting, and I'm not gonna do it.
That is crazy that happened the same day. That's
It was mind blowing. My mom
that,
immediately was like, "You see, God, Jesus is looking."
yeah, it's God's plan. Yeah.
Well, that was an entire pot of coffee.
Are you drinking coffee right now?
Yeah, 100%. She is empty.
Dude, I wish I liked coffee. Coffee, I never got it. Never made sense to me. It just makes me
Yeah,
jittery and then feel weird.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just almost got a hamstring cramp, so I'm gonna put that down and start smashing some water and take a tablespoon of mustard before I go to bed.
Mustard?
Mm-hmm. Mustard has a chemical in it that directly relates to contraction and retraction of muscles. So like marathon runners and stuff like that, they'll keep mustard packets in their pocket because it's very like fast acting. And if they start getting cramps, they'll pop a mustard packet.
Mustard packets for cramps.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep.
Hmm.
You learn something new all the time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
my brother told me that years and years ago when he was doing cross country and stuff. Like when he was back at De La Salle, I remember him saying that, and I was like, that sounds really stupid. And now I do it whenever I get leg cramps.
You're like, I doubt that's true. But 20 years later,
It works.
it works.
It's pretty fast acting. Within like 2-3 minutes, my cramps go away, and I got one of those massage like gun things that
Mm.
you get on those infomercials, and that thing works phenomenally. So, but I have to drink so much water every single day to stay hydrated. It's crazy because of how much I like. I went from sitting to literally every client I call, I do like 150 steps around the perimeter of my house with 40 pounds on my back. So like that's just constant movement all day with weight that I don't even realize I have on me anymore because I'm so used to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but like I have to be on my hydration. Otherwise, like one beer and a cup of coffee and like I'm straight legging it like I have peg legs trying to walk to the bathroom to put water in my mouth and I can barely bend over to take a piss. Like it's just it's awful. I can't
No, it's a
move.
lot of energy. Yeah, I just bought a weighted vest. I bought I think I bought a 60 pounder. I probably won't use more than 20 for a while, but I don't know. I was like, $100, but
Yeah.
it'll be good. It'll be a long term. I think it'll be a long term thing, hopefully.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting a vest too, just because I'm sick of putting a backpack on every day. Like A vest is just easy, but having to strap this stupid thing up every single day and walk around my house with it looking like an idiot, I'd rather just have the weighted vest. I thought about getting like the ankle bracelets and stuff like that, like the weighted ankle bracelets and for my hands and stuff, and just wear it constantly and then take it off for the marathon and feel like a god. But I don't know. I think the vest would be just enough.
Yeah.
But I've never bought one of those vests, so I don't know how it's like. Like, do they just have different weighted plates you put in the front and back, like a bulletproof vest, or?
I'm gonna get it in like 3 days, but it's
Oh, okay.
I believe it's like bags of sand that fit into compartments. Like there's like 5 compartments
Oh,
on
okay.
your front and your back, and you take out the sand, you put in the sand kind of thing. And they're all
Okay,
like four
gotcha.
pounds or 5 pounds or something like that.
Okay, so it's not just, it's not like plates, like Kevlar plates
I
and
don't think
stuff.
it's not like a army thing. It's definitely for working out. But
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely like bags of sand or something. I mean, I think I'll just start with like one. Like, I got to start
Yeah, yeah.
small, or else it'll be unsustainable. Like I'm up to like 20 pull-ups now, and it's like on the third one, I'm always like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can get to 20. Like, this is hard. But then when I get to 8, I'm like, I could probably get close. And then when I'm at like 17, I'm like, F these people. Like, let's do
Yep.
this. Like, you know. But it's I do pull up. I think I told you I do pull ups, push ups, and I do squats. And I'm thinking about adding an abs thing, but I don't know. People say don't work out every day, but honestly, I think it's the best thing because if I had to do arms and then legs and then whatever the hell, I would quit. It wouldn't make sense to me. You know, like
Hmm.
I wouldn't get pleasure out of it. I wouldn't, be able to do it every day. So that's just what's worked so far. I think I
Yeah.
gotta do some sort of ab thing. I don't know what else, like what other muscle groups I'm missing, but like I feel like that's most of them. I do leg day
Biceps,
every day.
triceps, abs, legs, back. That's about it.
I mean, if they could do 20 pull-ups, I feel like it's a lot. I use my abs for my
That is a
pull-ups.
lot.
Like I
I can't do
mean,
one.
right. Like I feel like 20 is like I should probably start doing the vest more than I should start trying to get to 30. Like I think 30 is like not actually growing anything. I think it's just more like sustaining.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I was like, maybe I should be because I really want to do one arm pull-ups. So that's like Bruce Lee kind of stuff. Like he can do
Yeah.
like 5 or 10 one-arm pull-ups. I'm close. I can get like 3/4 of my body weight up there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I got the pull-up bar up in my closet, and every single day I use it to like stretch out my back and everything like that, and then I sit there and I'll stand on my toes and try and hold all of my body weight as much as possible, and then I'll do that like 5 times, and at the very end I'll try and like do a full pull-up and just hold myself in that position as much as possible, and I'm inching my way up as I
I
lose weight.
mean,
And
what are you at right now? Are you still at 300?
yeah, 307.
I mean, that's an insane amount of pull up though, right? I mean, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you can't bench 307, right? Like, why would
No,
you be
I
able
can
to?
bench. I can still
You
bench
can
like
bench. Okay, I
325.
don't know. Like offensive
But
linemen
that's
bench like
completely
350.
different
So
than doing this.
yeah, so
Doing
yeah,
pushing
it's totally
something
different.
is
Yeah,
completely different muscle group. So that's there's I know there's ways to make it easier by focusing specific muscle group and holding a specific like angle
I don't
to
know.
more use your lats more than your shoulders and your biceps. Oh yeah, I got to get some water in me right now. My hand just tried to cramp up when I when I went like this. I was like, ugh. It's good. That's good. That's good. It's good for the back.
I
But yeah,
can't do
like
the thing. I just cheat immediately. Like I don't know how to avoid cheating. Like as soon as I struggle, I start cheating. Like I don't know how to not do that, you know?
it's a real tough mindset to break past, but like you just have to be obsessed with the outcome, with what the outcome could possibly be. If you continue to push and keep the proper form, you will be the most shredded you've ever been in your life, and you'll be able to do 1,000 pull-ups, kind of thing. Like that's the mindset I have to be at. But at the same time, I have an unfair advantage with being addicted to working out because I see such vast results so quick. Because I had such a far way to go, I had
Yeah.
so much weight to lose that I get the instant gratification.
Did you say you were plateauing? Like I plateaued a little bit.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk to you about. I need to grab this water and get this
Mhm.
mustard
All
in me. But so
right.
Basically, I mean, actually, I don't know if this is this coming through this mic. Like, can you hear me tapping this?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, gotcha. I just didn't want to know if I was too far away or anything like that. But um, so I have a $90 Fit Track scale that I've had for a couple years now, and it does all the measurements and sends the electronic thing through your body to figure out your BMI and all that jazz. And so I started at 415 and worked my way down, and I got down to like 331 and a half, and I just kind of plateaued there. And I was getting really annoyed. I was there for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, how is this even humanly possible? I'm eating 1,500 to 1,600 calories a day, and I'm working out constantly, nonstop moving all day with a weighted backpack on. Then I go into a hike, and then I lift or I do some sort of strength training. How am I possibly plateauing right now? And then I'm thinking, well, it could be that I'm putting on a large amount of muscle because I'm constantly doing things and I'm doing a lot of strength training. So that may be the issue. So I just keep doing what I'm doing, and people are asking, how much have you lost? How much have you lost? I'm like, I'm still here. I'm a little bit stuck right now, and it was kind of getting at me. It was digging at me a bit. So fast forward, I go out coyote hunting with my buddy Aaron and his buddy Jake, and we get skunked. The wind kind of blew our scent all around. We called in a couple coyotes. We saw them at the tree line, but they weren't good shots, so they went back in. Jake was cold. He's a really, really thin guy, so we went back inside and had a beer in the basement. And so I went to the bathroom in that basement, and there was a scale in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, I'll step on it. So I've got my hunting pants on and a t-shirt, and I got, a knife in my pocket and extra magazine in my pocket. And I look at the scale when I step on it, and it says 316 and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, shut up. That's not, this is probably just garbage, cheap scale or something like that. So I come home, it says 332.5. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, okay, maybe this is like, and I felt the floor because everything's tile, the same as it is down here upstairs. So I was like, okay, it is a little bit uneven here. So I brought it down to the bottom step where it's completely flat, stepped on it, 332.5. I was like, all right. So yeah, his scale's bullshit. So next morning I wake up and I went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, and looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, I look thin. Everything in my closet fits me. I can button everything that I had when I was like 285, 290. This doesn't make any sense. Maybe I'm just in better shape now because I started at a heavier weight trying to get active. I don't know. So, just out of curiosity, I was like, what if I set it to kilograms and then back to pounds? And 332.5. Then I open up the back of it, look at the batteries. I'm like, are these the original batteries? Maybe.